These are cause numbers F2500179, F2077085, F21777, F2039200, and F2039490. All filed the State of Texas versus Kewan White. Is that your name, sir?
Yeah, well.
All right, will the attorney announce their presence?
Bree West on behalf of Mr. White.
Myra McIntyre on behalf of Mr. White.
Ricardo Vela on behalf of the state.
Tom Young, State of Texas.
Thank you. And Mr. White's cases are set on the court's docket today for a pretrial hearing. Have both sides filed their pretrial motions?
Yes, Your Honor, and the state does have one additional agreed order that I had sent to defense. I have not filed it because we haven't agreed on it yet, but I did send an agreed order to all defense counsel. This will encompass Mr. Conway and Mr. Brown's cases as well. That's the only thing we have left outstanding as it relates to Mr. White. Our motions were previously ruled on in either January or February of this year, I believe.
And in response to that, Your Honor, it's my understanding, and I think the state can potentially correct me, it's my understanding that there may be some amended or updated 404B notice that will be provided to us that really directly sort of addresses our motion for 404B and extraneous offenses and motions in limine.
And I don't have any of your motions in front of me at this time. I know I ruled on the state's motions the last time we had a pretrial.
Correct.
And the defense hadn't yet filed their motions.
I'm happy to print those and provide those for the court, Your Honor.
Okay. Where are they?
They are e-filed. I can email them to you if that would be easier for the court, but they are on...
You emailed them yesterday? You e-filed them yesterday?
Yes, I didn't email them to you directly, Your Honor.
Okay. Has the state had an opportunity to review those motions?
No, Your Honor. They came in, I believe, after hours, and I was not able to review them this morning. Myself and Mr. Vela have begun reviewing the motions filed by defense, and I believe we could probably address those today.
Okay.
We would probably need an hour break or so just to review what we can and cannot agree to as far as promotions.
Okay. And this agreed order that you speak about, what is it?
Yes,
what does it entail?
The agreed order that we've provided to all the attorneys is, I know this court is very well aware that the state, on our cases, we will provide a motion or an order as far as us turning over criminal histories as it relates to individuals. A lot of times that is asked by defense in their motions anyways. So sometimes, or most of the time, we will file an order, agreed order, to turn over the criminal histories in our possession. Otherwise, we can't. So that is encompassed in this agreed order. Also includes text gang database information.
Why would I need to sign an agreed order for something that the state is already duty-bound to provide to the
law
defense?
actually, as it relates for our CJIS compliance and our compliance with the text gang database, and as well as our compliance with NCIC, TCIC, and our access to that, it has to be ordered by the court that we turn those things over. We cannot just willfully turn over those things. Those are a lot like, for example, one of the other things in here is mental health records, health records, as it relates to individuals. Like those are things that a court would have to order us to turn over. Just like, for example,
Yes, and I usually do. I order the state to turn those over pursuant to discovery.
Sure.
Michael Morton. I don't need a separate order to do that. And I'm not asking y'all to turn over the TCIC, NCIC records, just information from those databases with any criminal history that you know of,
Sure.
that you've researched.
And just to make things, in my experience in handling these, especially with the amount of discovery we have, typically what I will do, Your Honor, I will run every witness that we intend on calling, civilian witness that we intend on calling, we'll typically run them the Friday before trial. That way we have a very clean fresh NCIC, TCIC, as well as any texting database information. And then I will turn that over via text share to defense. Of course, 3914, restricts their ability to hand that out, but that ensures that.
But you want to hand it out?
I would, yes, via text share. And in speaking with our lieutenant who handles our CJIS compliance, and as well as speaking with DPS and who handles their texting database, everybody's on board that this is an okay way for us to do it. And then that way defense counsel isn't relying on me transcribing or reducing the NCICTC into writing into what I believe it says or shows. That way they have all that information exactly as it is represented on the NCIC-TCIC, as it is represented on the text game pronounced if there are any. And that way I'm out of creating a record or a document that they are then relying upon. Because I don't want anybody to have to rely upon any document that I am creating or reducing something into a form. So this, in my experience, has been the easiest way to handle things, and has been my practice at least since before the pandemic. Maybe even 2017 or 2018.
Well, let me ask the defense, is that the format that you would prefer, or would you prefer for the state to review those records and inform you of whatever criminal history their law enforcement and civilian witnesses have?
So, Your Honor, I think it has a lot to do with like how voluminous it might be.
Right.
And so that and the only other issue I would have is if it is voluminous and we receive it the Friday before trial, then how are we to investigate or address anything that may come up for impeachment purposes that may be contained in that NCIC?
And just to clarify, the two parts. Number one, if this agreed order, we could agree to it, I'm happy just making everything that I have now that is in our possession as of today, making it discoverable today. As far as the civilian witnesses that we have histories for and criminal records for, that way they have a month to investigate it. The only reason I do it on the Friday before is just to ensure if somebody picked up a case in the 31 days between now and the start of trial. That is just to, again, give the defense a fair trial. And I would also like to clarify, we do not run criminal histories on law enforcement officers. Our office has a procedure where we...
Your Brady department?
Yes, we run.
Okay.
I will have all of my officers run through our Brady division that runs all of the officers, and I will turn over any information that comes back from them. We do not run NCIC, TCIC on officers.
Well, regardless of that, regardless of what your Brady department does, I'm ordering the state to turn over any criminal history that any of your law enforcement witnesses have. It's your duty to discover that, whichever way you need to, and turn that over to the defense, regardless of your Brady department.
Well, in your honor, I would direct the court to, and I can get the citation for the court. I believe Ms. West was actually the prosecutor in the court for a case. It's entitled In Ray Watkins. I believe Ms. West was actually ordered to do the same thing, and the Court of Criminal Appeals came back and said that that would cause us to create records that are not in our possession, and I would just direct the court to that.
No, I think there's a difference here. I'm not asking you to create records that are not in your possession. I'm asking you that if there's any criminal history known to you,
Sure.
which you are duty-bound to discover,
Absolutely.
that the defense can use to impeach your witnesses, whether they're law enforcement or civilian witnesses, you are to discover those and turn them over to the defense. I'm not asking you to create a document or create discovery. I'm asking you to hand over what exists. Okay?
I of course, will comply with all my obligations under 30.
As you should, yes.
And Brady. I'm not trying to argue that. I just want to make sure that we're clear.
Yes.
If there's anything ever known to us, we would, of course, turn it over. However...
And anything that you should discover.
Sure. I completely agree with all that.
Proactively.
Just so we're clear, is the court ordering the state to run every single witness through a database?
No, what I'm asking you to do is if there's any law enforcement witness that you have that you're going to call and they have a criminal history
Correct.
or any material information that can be used to impeach them or that's beneficial for the defense, you are to turn that over to the defense.
Correct.
I think my ruling's clear.
Yo, shout out to y'all, man. What's up with it?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right? Okay, what next?
This is the Yella Beezy pretrial hearing. We did see Keywan White walk in the court. The guy actually accused of the murder of MO3.
Records, just in the process of subpoenaing records, typically these would be orders that would be put forth individually.
I see y'all, Nurse Lady TG, Roman Slim Jones, Miss
We have
Duval.
just put these together in one small format to not waste paper and have 3 separate orders, and just that we want to disclose all of this to defense and the other parties.
But you're already duty bound to disclose all that. What I'm asking is why do I need to sign a
Mike from the
separate order
Ville,
for that?
XO Mafia.
There are certain things that
XXL
require in our
Mafia,
things that the
excuse
court
me.
would have to order us.
Is that modern day sniper, man? Where the F you been? Shout out to modern day sniper. Good to see you, bro. Good to see everybody, man.
For
Salute.
particularized need, excuse me, Your Honor.
I'm assuming that's all in the defendant's motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
YouTube, I need y'all to get them likes up, man. It's 163 concurrent viewers. Yeah, get the viewers down or get the likes up. It's just that simple. We need the concurrent viewers to go down, or we need to get the likes and the
Pre-trial
engagement
orders, right?
up.
I'm sorry?
Pre-trial
Let's
orders.
go.
Correct, Your Honor.
Correct.
Which is why we're asking the court to
Hold
sign
on.
orders
Before we
to
do
have an order
this,
in place.
before we get
When
into
I rule
anything,
on
I gotta do this.
defendant's
Did y'all
motions,
hear that?
those items that you're talking about, those issues, they will be covered in those.
Shout out to Miss
Sure.
Duval
And Your
I
Honor,
will order the state
with the $2
to turn
super
all
chat,
that
super step. Make sure
over.
you smash that hype
And
button.
again,
Let's
My
go.
question again is why do I need a separate order?
on Monday of this week, when I sent this to defense counsel, Ms. West, Ms. McIntosh, Ms. Evans, Mr. E, I had not received any motions for pretrial regarding either of them, and had not received them up until last night. So
I'll tell you what, let's hold up on that.
that's fine.
Ms. West, go ahead and...
Y'all run the likes up. Run the likes up.
Well, you already have the defendant's motions, correct?
We have them now, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead. So y'all review that,
All right, we in
And
double
then in an
digits. Let's get to
hour's time,
15.
we can
5
come
more
back
likes.
and,
Let's go. Let's get to
and
15.
I'll give my rulings on the defendant's motion.
Devin Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know if he's in court
The other,
today, but
I
we
think,
just saw
and I don't know whether or not this is going to be out of order.
Yella Beezy is already
the
in
other
there.
thing was, I believe that
Keywan
my
White, the guy
client,
accused
Mr.
of
White,
actually shooting,
Mr.
running
Conway,
Mo3 down and
Mr.
shooting
Brown
him dead
are all set for
on
trial
the interstate.
on
Has
Same
walked
day.
in there.
24th.
Yes.
And so we did want to, and I don't know if the court wants to hear any
Coyote, what up?
arguments about that at this time.
Oh, Coyote
or
came
we
back from
should-
yesterday. Salute. Gracias.
We can do that now. From talking to the parties, I think after the last pretrial we had, the understanding was that Mr. White's case would proceed first. Has anything changed?
There you go.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's changed?
And I do want to, if I may, make the record clear.
We gotta make some more noise, man. Hold on.
Did y'all
At
hear
the
that?
time that I think we addressed
Brick money.
the order of the trial.
Let's go. Shout out Mike from the Ville with the super chat, super step 499. Double tap that screen and drop where you from in the chat. Let's effing go, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Run it up.
Indicated a desire for this case to proceed, for Mr. White's case to proceed before any others. But since that time, Mr. Conway has had a very extensive pretrial hearing that had to do with rap lyrics, it had to do with various extraneous allegations, it had to do with other rap artists within the community that are unindicted but being referred to as co-conspirators. But at the center of this case is whether or not there was a payment made to my client by another person. It appears to us that what was raised during his pretrial.
Appreciate
about
y'all.
rap
Thank y'all for the
lyrics
likes.
and money being exchanged and various people meeting up or allegations of that his defense counsel undoubtedly will develop a pretty robust defense regarding that.
Regarding rap lyrics and
regarding the entirety of the allegation of whether or not there was a payment made.
yes, of course, that's the central
That's
theme,
right.
right?
Yes. And because Mr. Conway's attorneys undoubtedly are going to develop a robust defense, we believe.
Shout out to
that there may
Sarasota.
be
Shout out to
information that
Sparta,
comes out during
Mississippi.
Mr. Conway's trial that will directly impact our ability to develop a robust defense.
Shout out to Alaska.
Now, I don't want to misrepresent. We're not suggesting
Saginaw,
that the state of Texas
Michigan.
is withholding
Salute.
evidence as it relates to
What up, Queen
whatever it is
Morris?
that they may know.
Florida, let's
But,
go.
as the court is well aware, Mr. Conway's attorneys have absolutely no duty to disclose anything.
Salute to everybody
the
making
state
coffee
about what
right
their
now.
defense is, or anything to any of the other
Salute to
co-defendant
everybody
attorneys
driving
about
trucks
what
like
their
right
defense
now,
is.
sitting at a
And
desk
maybe
right
the
now,
only way
up
that we can
exercising
discover
right
that
now,
there's
rolling
some
the blunt
alternate
right
theory,
now.
that there is some
Whatever
other,
you doing, shout out to you.
evidence that
Hope it's something
exists
positive,
that
though.
would benefit our client in his defense is through that trial. Is through Mr. Conway's trial. So as
Shout
a
out to all my
result,
contractors.
We believe that the only way that Mr.
Shout out to all the
White
correctional
can
officers.
really develop a full and fair defense, and
Shout
that
out
we
to
have
all
our
my
duty
food
to
service
protect
workers.
constitutional rights and all of that kind of stuff. The only way that we can do that is if Mr. Conway's case is able to proceed forward, and that we can glean any beneficial evidence through that trial.
Shout out to content creators.
In favor of Mr. White.
And if I may add, as the court knows, remuneration and shooting is two of the major elements here. Remuneration, there may be financial records that Mr. Conway and his attorneys are in possession.
Shout out to everybody who
that
got to
they don't
work
have a
outside
duty
in that
or
hot
obligation
sun
to
and them
serve
weather
anyone,
conditions,
either
man.
The state or the court prior to the court proceeding. If
Every
that
piece of the pie is important. That's what people don't
evidence
understand, man. Shout out to
after
everybody.
Mr. White goes to trial, then he would be at a disadvantage. And it would be unfair justice for Mr. White because we weren't privy to that information. And if Mr. Conway, if that evidence gleans a not guilty or whatever, then the information that the state has given could be misleading. And at this point, we're asking that the case as it relates to remuneration goes first because they might have more
You right,
evidence than
Blaine.
we already have.
I just like to show love to people.
What's the state's response?
Multiple things, Your Honor, if I may.
You absolutely right,
Going
Blaine.
back to our
You're absolutely
conversations
correct.
in January when we were
My
set
fault,
for
guys. I'm going to go back on mute like I did for the first 10 minutes. Let's go.
That my intentions and our plan was to go on Q1Y. That was who we wanted to go to. He is the alleged
To be honest, I had my background
and at
mic
that
down
time,
because I don't have my
we had an
headphones on,
extensive
and y'all would have heard
conversation in
this.
Chambers, that Ms. McIntosh would be brought onto the case. I know she wasn't in the courtroom that day, but she was being brought on the case. You had appointed her as well. And the understanding, and I know we all love Mr. Ashford and wish he was here. But even at that time, the court was full aware of the situation that was going on there. And in Chambers, you made it very clear to us in Ms. West that everybody would be ready for trial on August 24th. And you knew our position at that time. All of these defendants have been indicted for capital murder since March of 2025. Mr. White has been indicted for murder since January of 2021. Ms. West represented him in the Northern District of Texas and then was brought on with Mr. Ashford in 2021.
Right, I remember that conversation, and Miss White has, Miss West had access to a lot of discovery.
The majority of it.
Majority of it, yes, back then, even before.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, at that time, if the court will remember, even prior to Mr. White being brought back, because if you remember, we brought him back on a writ of ad prosequendum from the federal government. And we had to have a hearing before you, and you signed off on that order. We had to get a trial date. And we made representations to the Bureau of Prisons and the federal government that we would be ready to go to trial on him first. And even then, once the court did it, Ms. West appropriately lodged her objections for multiple reasons, but brought up her fear and concern and safety of Mr. White being here in Dallas County Jail, and made it a big part of the record as far as his safety, and there's hits out for him, and that she wanted him to be housed at another location. And the court said, no, he'll be housed here, and so he came back and he's been here. And so at that point, we know now that he's in single cell. He has to be escorted by SRT. And so, Your Honor, part of that is disingenuous to now say, well, he's here, we want to even, I'm willing to put his safety at risk, I guess, and the jail is having to deal with him being in single cell. You know from prior hearings that he's going on YouTube Live and talking about evidence and discussing grand jury records and grand jury testimony. We've come before you and discussed that. Further, Your Honor, I don't understand, maybe I should, that all of this evidence that has been provided to defense counsel, nothing has come out as far as rap or anything like that. The murder for remuneration has been the indictment since March of last year. Whatever Conway's attorneys do is what they do. I don't understand the idea of I get to sit back and see what goes on with their case to see how it might benefit my client. The defendant has been in custody since December 9th of 2020. I have a family that's sitting here that deserves justice. He was indicted in January 2021 for killing Melvin Noble. Yes, we enhanced the charges to capital murder last year. But based off of everything procedurally that has gone on in this case, and the fact that he is on loan from the federal government, that this court had to sign an order, and every single time we've had a setting, it's been another reason why this family cannot get justice. Whether they want to sit back and see what, I'm sure Mr. Conway, they're probably going to say they want to go first. I understand that. He's on bond. Wouldn't every co-defendant want to see if they can benefit from their co-defendant's trial because something else might come up that's good for them? Nothing new came off that stand as far as evidence that we are planning to admit. In Your Honor, we are asking the court to do what's right not only by the criminal justice system, but by the family, and let this community hear this case of the man who's alleged of shooting and killing Melvin Noble on I-35 and is also charged with aggravated assault for shooting a neurosurgeon in the head that day on the freeway.
Thank you.
May we respond, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. And just so the record is clear, it's my understanding that the only case that's moving forward to trial in terms of guilt innocence is the capital murder. So I appreciate the state saying that there are other allegations that are pending, but the only case that I've been told we're going to trial on is the capital murder charge. Furthermore, everything that Mr. Adams just talked about has nothing to do with the evidence in the case, which is what we're dealing with, and that's what speaks directly to Mr. White's ability to have a fair trial. The reality of the situation is the only evidence that the state of Texas can provide to us is the evidence that they have. That doesn't have anything to do with any evidence that may come out during Mr. Conway's trial that is identified by his own attorneys.
I mean, the same could be said for any of the co-defendants.
Well,
I mean, if I gave you all the choice to see who wants to go first, I don't think anybody would want to go first.
Well, I think that if you were to talk to some of the lawyers, there are some that want to go first. I do think that. And so I think that in this particular case, what Ms. McIntosh and I are trying to do is ensure that our client has a right, that we're starting at the same starting point, right? And I think that would include being able to get information that nobody has to know until trial as it relates to Mr. Conway.
Your client is the alleged shooter, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
this case is different than most capital murders that the court may have seen in the fact that this is dealing with remuneration. And in the state's indictment, it says specifically that Marquise Conway paid Keyone White for remuneration. That means, and I'm a finance and accounting major, Your Honor, previously, and worked in finance and accounting. I know that there may be documents, there may be bank statements that the state is unaware that they might not know. And that may be provided or introduced in trial that from Marquise Conway's attorneys. And if we go first, Keyone White is up this stage. This has nothing to do with how long he's been in jail. He could be in jail for, I'm sure that Mr. White, if he was testify right now would say, I want to make sure I have all the evidence before I proceed to trial, and I'm going to wait prior to we're just going off of what the state has and what the state is alleging. Because that, I believe, could put Mr. White in a strong disadvantage. It unfairly prejudices him if we don't have all the information that Mr. Conway may have. And the only way we get that is if Mr. Conway goes first.
Your Honor, may I please respond?
Go ahead.
There has to be some correction here. First of all, I want to direct the court's attention that on July 14th, I was asked by Ms. West, actually I was asked on the 6th, Ms. West has a trial set on the 10th of August in the 283rd. Her and I had a conversation. She made representations that she knew that we were going first, and I believe she even put that on the record in the 283rd to get that case taken off the docket and get a continuance. And she can shake her head no in this courtroom, but we can get the record that she understood and knew that we wanted to go on her client first. That is not even up for a question, or I want to make sure that is very clear. She's made representations to other prosecutors in this office and another judge. Secondly, as far as documents,
Okay, allow him to finish.
Okay.
as far as documents that Mr. Conway may or may not have, they can subpoena records as well. Mr. White has been in custody since December 9th of 2020. He's been indicted for capital murder for a year and a half. They've had the opportunity to subpoena any and all records. And also as a finance major and having an MBA, yeah, there could be more records out there, and they can go and seek those out. That's an obligation on them to their client. And finally, as far as Ms. McIntosh saying that if you were to testify right now, that he would say that he would want to wait, I've listened to him on YouTube a whole bunch saying, I'm not going to trial. I'm not going to trial in August of this year. He doesn't want to go to trial. This is a game, Your Honor. It's a delay tactic and a game.
All right.
And I'm so sorry.
This is the last thing I'm going
Yes,
to hear about this.
Of course,
Go
I
ahead.
apologize. It's just that Mr. Adams put on the record suggesting I may have made misrepresentations to other members of the DA's office and to another judge. So I have to correct that. What I told, this case is set for August 24th. I have another case that was set August 10th. At the time that I was asking for that other case to be reset, this court hadn't made a decision about which case was going. And so what I did represent is that I knew that Mr. Adams wanted to go forward on our case, which I did know. That had nothing to do with anything that came up after that, but it also had nothing to do with the fact that if I was in trial on a first-degree felony 2 weeks before this capital murder case that has 20 terabytes of discovery, then I'm putting both of my clients at a disadvantage. So that is what I put on the record, and I can get that record from that other court should it become necessary. Because
There'll be no need for that. There'll be no need for that.
If I may, this is, I'm highly disturbed because this is not a civil case. We don't know any information about Mr. Conway's records except what the state has provided. And we can't do depositions. We can't talk to Mr. Conway ourselves. So to say or even suggest that we could subpoena records that we don't even know exist, or whose name, what name, if he shares a bank account, what other information is going on, I think is disingenuous. At the end of the day, if we don't know what records Mr. Conway is introducing or admitting into trial after the fact of Mr. White, he is prejudiced. It is probative that we have all the financial records and documents that is going to be introduced into Mr. Conway's trial, and as the prosecutor sits there today, he cannot say unequivocally that he knows all the evidence that Mr. Conway, from his financial records, is going to introduce into trial.
Okay. Now, you all are making all these arguments, but I've been an integral part of these discussions about what case is going first, the continuances, the reasons behind them, the discussions that we had in chambers regarding what cases moving forward. And so based on all that, Keywan White's case will go to trial first. So everybody be ready on Keywan White. So I'm going to give you all an hour to review the defendant's, Mr. White's motions, and let's reconvene at 11 o'clock. Okay? Is there anything else before we do that?
And we'll take up the other counsels at that time as well.
Okay, Mr. Shook, did you have anything you wanted to say on the record? And this is Keywan White on the record at this point. So this is counsel for co-defendant speaking. Go ahead.
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Conway, we'll announce we are ready for trial and would like to go to trial.
Yes, I asked everybody, all of you, to be ready. All the co-defendants shall be ready on that day in case something happens. Because, you know, as you all know, sometimes parties work out a deal and fall off, and then the next person would have to come up. So everybody be ready. So you're announcing ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris.
Yes, ma'am.
And Delane Evans?
Yes,
Okay. And you all will be ready on the 24th as well, correct?
we're ready.
Okay.
Stay ready, Judge.
Okay. Very good. All right, let's, we're off the record.
Just one line.
Okay.
This doesn't have to be on the record.
Okay, off the record. Go ahead.
I did want to ask on the record at some point a couple of statements regarding the matter we brought up with our last pre-trial with Mr. Adams. It didn't
Okay,
take
I'll
long.
have to call up your people for that.
Do you want me to, do you want us to come back at 11 after you're done with that?
No, we shouldn't. Let's go ahead and handle that now.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. White can go. All right, we're on the record. This is cause number. Where's Mr. Conway? If he would step forward.
So Keywan White is going to trial. Yella Beezy about to step up now. I see y'all. Shout out Mills, shout out to Perfection, shout out Anonymous, shout out Big Rock from Group Home, shout out Slim Jones McGeezy, shout out Nurse Lady T. Who else I see? Geo Roman.
All right, this is cause number F2500154.
Joseph
State of Texas versus
Coyote.
Marquise
I'ma shut up.
Conway. Is that your name? Let the attorneys announce their presence.
RJ. All right, now I'm shut up.
John Bishop with the defense.
Ricardo Vela for the state of Texas.
Tommy Adams, State of Texas.
CN Woodruff for
Thank
the
you.
sunshine.
And,
Thank you.
Mr. Shook, you had certain things you wanted to put on the record today?
Yes, Your Honor. At our last pretrial hearing, we had requested, filed our motion about revealing any deals or benefits given to any of the witnesses that were testifying for the state. Mr. Adams had stated on the record that he had made no promises or benefits from the state, but could not state on the record that what the federal prosecutors had done. And I believe at that time he said, well, ask him to use due diligence to make inquiries into that. So I wanted to follow up on that aspect to see if there were had been any other, if he has new information regarding that, so we have a record of that. That's one of the issues.
Okay. So, any updates by the state?
Yes, Your Honor. I actually sent defense an email yesterday. I sent them one last week as well. As far as certain documents that are currently in, again, Your Honor, if there's any information that comes forward that deals were made either on my behalf, the state's behalf, of course we would inform defense immediately. Nothing has changed as far as that is concerned. We have not made deals or cut any type of deal, made any promises with anybody as far as the state is concerned. However, Your Honor, as I brought up last time, we can't control the federal government and what they turn over and what they don't. I've made requests earlier this year and have continued to follow up with federal prosecutors regarding that information. I did send defense an email yesterday at 2:12 p.m. Regarding some of the information that they were, I believe that they're looking for. However, it did take a while because the federal prosecutors needed permission from the federal judge to release it. And so I forwarded that email to defense counsel as far as yesterday afternoon. and it lists the things that are available for them. And in fact, it lets them know that they can come by, but they will need to coordinate, and they can review it there at their office. They're not going to release those documents to us. The defense would have to coordinate with those federal prosecutors to go over and make a time to go review that information.
Okay. Mr. Shook, is that the information you received?
Yes, Your Honor, we did receive that email.
Okay.
The other issue, Judge, we talked with Mr. Adams on several occasions. He's indicated, as the court knows, there is a large amount of discovery in this case, some 16 terabytes. Mr. Adams has told us that he would meet with us and show us the exhibits and evidence that he plans on calling his case in chief. We have not mentioned that on the record. I just want that agreement by Mr. Adams put on the record so there is a record of it.
Okay.
We meant,
That the state will prepare an exhibit list?
well, that he will show us the exhibits he plans on using in his case in chief and go over the pieces of evidence, witnesses that he plans on calling.
Okay, and the court will require an exhibit list as well.
Absolutely, Your Honor. And just as I did last week for our hearing, I'm going to provide everybody with an exhibit list. And just as I did as far as this last hearing, I sent all of those exhibits to defense counsel via text share so they could see. Now, of course, I've started preparing those exhibits for the trial. I was working on that yesterday. Those will be uploaded as well for all of the attorneys. This doesn't just apply to Mr. Conway. I'm doing this for all of the defendants, so that everybody can be on the same page as far as the exhibits we intend on offering. These are intended exhibits.
Right.
There could be deviation, and this is not a smoke and mirrors or trying to trick anybody, but if the court will remember even from last week, I had a whole long list of exhibits, and there were some that I didn't put in, and then there was one that I had to add. I'm planning to give them as much as I can to show them the exhibits that we plan on it offering. Of course, we filed notice of intent to use business records. That's a good indication. However, I'm going to continue as we get closer to August 24th to provide them with these are the photos, these are the videos, and I will give them the evidence list that I will have here for the court and the court reporter as well, just to make this thing smooth and as streamlined as possible.
Right. I appreciate that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else?
I believe the court has us scheduled for the trial date's August 24th, but there's another pre-trial date set for August 21st.
Well, yeah, if necessary, the parties can convene on that day. If there's anything else that comes up, I think we just scheduled that just in case.
As a check-in.
Right.
And Your Honor, if the court would remember, we did appear earlier this year, and we had discussions regarding these motions. We never got into the substance of the omnibus pre-trial motions, and I don't know how this happened, but an omnibus motion that had checks of certain things had made it.
We discussed that, yes.
Correct.
That was a different, yes.
And the court had actually made a
Docket
entry that we would take up. It was entered in error on the 9th.
Right.
Okay. So we still need to take up his Mr. Conway's omnibus motions. I believe ours have all been ruled on.
Okay. Now, Mr. Shook, do you all intend to present that motion or not?
Yes, I think we've come to agreements on most of them, but we'll have to discuss that again.
Okay. Y'all talk about that in an hour. We'll talk about both, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Off the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, are we excused?
Yes, for now, for the next hour.
You want to come in there? Your Honor, would it be possible for us to use the jury room just for us briefly to tell them what?
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
We got a quick poll up. Quick poll up. They're gonna talk for an hour. Yella Beezy. Is that man going to jail or will he walk? Keywan White is going to trial. Let's go back to some of that Keywan White.
About 11 o'clock, I go back to the back. Yeah, what you saying?
That's going to be, and you will have to see how long you anticipate
They will be covered in those motions,
Sure.
usually. Okay?
I, of course, will comply with all my obligations under 30.
As you should. The state had an opportunity to review those motions.
No, Your Honor. They came in.
Are both sides ready to proceed?
This one Keywan walked in. Look at this.
There you go. For 15.
I wonder what Yella Beezy thinking like, there go my shooter. Look at that haircut. Boy, look like he got a lot on his mind, don't it?
All right. So both sides ready to proceed?
Stage ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Let's get on the record. These are cause numbers F2500179, F2077085, F21777, F2039200, and F2039490. All filed the State of Texas versus Keywan White. Is that your name, sir?
Yeah, well,
All right, will the attorney announce their presence?
Bree West on behalf of Mr. White.
Myra McIntyre, on behalf of Mr. White.
Ricardo Vela on behalf of the state.
Tommy Adams, State of Texas.
Thank you. And Mr. White's cases are set on the court's docket today for a pretrial hearing.
So Keywan White is going to trial first?
Have both sides filed their pretrial motions?
Man.
Yes, Your Honor, and the state does have one additional agreed order that I had sent to defense. I have not filed it because we haven't agreed on it yet, but I did send an agreed order to all defense counsel. This will encompass Mr. Conway and Mr. Brown's cases as well. That's the only thing we have left outstanding as it relates to Mr. White. Our motions were previously ruled on in either January or February of this year, I believe.
And in response to that, Your Honor, it's my understanding, and I think the state can potentially correct me, it's my understanding.
Is there any bloggers there that's live on the scene?
That really directly sort of addresses our
Is there any bloggers there that's live on the scene?
Extraneous offenses and motions in limine.
And I don't have any of your motions in front of me at this time. I know I ruled on the state's motions the last time we had a pretrial.
Correct.
And the defense hadn't yet filed their motions.
I'm happy to print those and provide those for the court, Your Honor.
Okay, where are they?
They are e-filed. I can email them to you if that would be easier for the court, but they are on.
You emailed them yesterday? You e-filed them yesterday?
Yes, I didn't email them to you directly, Your Honor.
Okay. Has the state had an opportunity to review those motions?
No, Your Honor. They came in, I believe, after hours, and I was not able to review them this morning. Myself and Mr. Vela have begun reviewing the motions filed by defense, and I believe we could probably address those today.
Okay.
We would probably need an hour break or so just to review what we can and cannot agree to as far as promotions.
Okay. And this agreed order that you speak about, what is it?
Yes,
What
Your
does it
Honor.
entail?
The agreed order that we've provided to all the attorneys is, I know this court is very well aware that the state, on our cases, we will provide a motion or an order as far as us turning over criminal.
This is what we're going to do. They said an hour. Everybody got their timers on. Hold on, let me ask the chat what they want to do. Hold on, because we can easily go back to this point. Let me ask the chat what they want to do. You guys want to go ahead? We have an hour. There's a 3-part interview from Nolan Wells' friend with a guy named, I think, Officer Tatum. And the kid Warren did a 3-part interview with the content creator named Tatum, Officer Tatum. Do you guys want to watch that right now? Or do you want to just stay right here with the MO3 case? One in the chat to go and watch the interview. 2 to stay. 1 for the interview, 2 to stay. 1 to watch Warren and Tatum, 2 to stay. What y'all want to do? 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s. 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s. 1 to watch Warren and Tatum, 2 to stay here. 11-11, make a wish. Damn, I was about to say Slim is getting, it's about even. It's really about even. I'm not counting Slim's extra 2. I'm only counting his 1. Dog, every time a 1 come up is a 2. This shit is really even. Though it's close as hell. Oh my God. Every time I'm about to say this one or that one wins, another number comes. All right, y'all, the 1s have overtaken the 2s. So what we're going to do is get a hater out of here. First and foremost, we're going to get a hater all the way up out of here forever. Yeah, we're gonna get a hater all the way up out of here forever. And what we're gonna do, guys, since that's what everybody, not everybody, but since that what was decided on, the 1s have won. The 1s have won slightly. The ones have won ever so slightly, guys. All right. But I got to keep it 100. Okay, so I guess they're going to come back for a trial because they ended the stream. All right, cool. I'm assuming that they're going to come back. Since that happened, let's just go ahead and go where we were going anyway, since the ones won. You didn't miss nothing, Nurse Lady. Before we do this, hold on. Before we get here, y'all already know I got to shout out the top 10. I got to shout out, they call it fan funding. I call it support. I call it the super support. So first off, super duper salute to y'all. Thank y'all, everybody who donated to the cause, who helps keep the tent rent on, to keep the tent rent paid, the lights on, so we can keep this content rolling. Super duper salute to y'all, man. Make sure y'all smash that hype button. Miss Duval says, I think the hype button will come into play after the stream ends. But in the meantime, what you can do is smash that like button. So super duper salute to y'all, and thank you to Miss Duval. Much gratitude for the $2 super chat, super step. Let's go. And also double tap that screen and drop where you from in the chat. Let's go. Says Mike from the Ville with his $4.99 super chat, super step. And also we got Miss Duval sent stars for 2 jewels. CN Woodruff sent sunshines for 200 jewels, and Kimmy Johnson sent sparkles for 2 jewels. I appreciate y'all. Let's go. Thank y'all. Now I got to shout out what we call, well, what they are known as the top 10. Super duper salute. Number 1, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 2, we got Miss Duval. Number 3, we got CN Woodruff. Number 4, we got XXL Mafia. Number 5, we got Slim Jones McEasy. Number 6, we got Luna is Cool. Number 7, we got Anum. Number 8, we got Gracias. Number 9, we got XO Mills. Number 10, we got Geo Roman. And then number 11, because I see you, honorable mention, Jay Weaver. What up? And let me show some love to the most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. One more like, we aggravating the algorithm. One more like, we aggravating the algorithm, y'all. Let's get to 50 likes. Let's aggravate the algorithm. Then at 100, we break the glass. Come on, y'all. I see y'all in the chat. I see Slim Jones McJeezy. I see The Perfect Tone. I see Nurse Lady T, Ernest Lil. Said Answer D is funny as fuck. Man, yeah, let's go, bro. That's how we get down around here. I see Florida in the building. I see Long Live 3 in the building. Shout out Jamal Thomas. Gary Parker, what up, Charlotte? Anon said 13. Lord, no. Slim Jones say, boo, you number 1 in my eyes. I see Gio Roman. He talking to the young ladies, y'all know. Daryl Lewis says, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I'm going to just let that slide right now because there might be some wild shit and you might, I don't know. We'll see. Watching you. Yeah. Watching you. Master Duster, what up? The Original, what up? The Perfect Tone, what up? Ken Stacks, what up? Chulo, what up? I don't want to say, man. New York niggas be doing it. Like, what's up, Poppy? Nigga named Poppy Chulo. What up? Gary Parker, what up? Is that Domain Boots? Gaza, what up? Rick Jane, who? Jay Weaver. Anom, Snipes, Damian Boots, Alex Williams. Shout out to y'all. We're going to go ahead and move on, guys. Tangled Terps, what up? Hickory, North Carolina in the building. Gio Roman says McEasy, rumor. I said that. What happened? Crowd says Virginia in the building. Is that K-Rob or Rob? What's up, VA? 910 in here. 314 in here. What's up, Stella Dre? What up, Jamal? I didn't say McJeezy. I said McEasy. No, y'all ain't finna get me this time, nigga. Nope. Joshua Felix, what up? Toledo, Ohio in the building. Yella D, what up? Shout out to y'all, man. We gonna move on. We done showed the chat. So I said it. My bad, dog. Hey, listen, charge it to my mind, not my heart, bro. I'm imperfect as we all are, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I'm imperfect, bro. As we all are, bro. I might have fucked up. Anthony says Boston, Massachusetts in the building. Shout out Boston, Mass. He said he definitely said Jeezy. Oh, the niggas calling me out. No, don't do me like that. Shout out, man. Shout out. Damn. Yes, sir, man. Y'all so aggravating, dog. We done reached 50 likes, too. Y'all aggravating as hell, man. Y'all niggas get on my nerves, man. Y'all so damn aggravating. But guess what? Y'all so appreciate it. We done reached 50 likes, man. Let's go. Most aggravating chat in the game.
So aggravating as hell, man. Aggravating as hell, man.
Man, y'all so aggravating, but y'all are so appreciated. Thank y'all for continuously running them likes up. The most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. Let's continue to aggravate the algorithm. Keep sharing that stream. Keep engaging in that chat, running it up, being aggravating, letting me know how y'all feel, letting me know when y'all ain't effing with what I'm saying, with what the people are saying, letting me know y'all real, raw opinions. Thank y'all for always rocking out, man. The most aggravating chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the world. We're going to go ahead and move on to this. Nolan Wells' best friend tells the truth about Nolan Wells after the backlash. Exclusive part 1 interview with a guy named The Officer Tatum. Always got to give credit first and foremost. Before we move on to this type of content, I have to say a few things. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. The videos, photos, or documents you're about to see are being used under the Fair Use Act for education, entertainment, commentary, research, or satirical purposes only. The views and thoughts expressed within them do not necessarily represent the views and thoughts of the Rumonati Network, its annoying host, or its aggravating but ever so amazing chat. Let's go. All right, now, welcome back to the Rumonati Network, the place where the conversations are real, the opinions are loud, and the chat is the most aggravating chat on the internet. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and get comfortable, because once you step into the Rumonati, you are officially part of the conversation. Now, listen, on this channel, we talk about everything the internet is buzzing about, from hip-hop news, celebrity drama, viral moments, cultural debates, and the stories that people are afraid to ask questions about. And the best part of this whole show is the chat, because the Rumonati chat is not quiet, it is not polite, and it is definitely not boring. This is the most aggravating chat on the internet, and y'all never hold your opinions back. So if you're here right now, go ahead, wake the chat up, drop where you're watching from, hit that like button, and let me see those opinions in the comments, because around here we don't just watch the news, we break it down, we question it, and sometimes we aggravate the entire internet while doing it. So get ready, let's get into it, let's go.
So Warren, I'm gonna ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out. The first thing I wanna ask you is, did you kill Nolan? All right, Warren, we had a chance to get to know each other over the last, 2 days. Went out to Horn Island. So I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things, and the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind. But the world haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But you know, some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and, you know, get your side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just the best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. You know, we talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And
So you leave your brother. First and foremost, do we have to even start there? If Nolan was like a brother to you, you leave your brother at an island without his phone around. Who knows the relationship with the people that he was there with, that he was left with. But this is who he came with, and then you guys left him. You say that this is your brother. Also without communication.
I mean,
Don't sound so brotherly to me.
I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together. Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd go to Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out around us, but never, you know, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot. But I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, you know, anyone else. So.
And walk me through the day of 4th of July where you...
I would stop this every second if I could, bro. Like, there's a lot I want to say. First off, like Gio said, who is going to open the interview? Did you do that? Yeah, I did that. Come on, bro. It's a lot going on. There's so much. I'm going to let it play some, and I'll see y'all in the chat.
You guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? It's a 2-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together? Did you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. You know, being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, you know, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, you know, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year, and he was, I mean, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, you know, on the water, you know? And I mean, Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, you know, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, you know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, you know, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. Huh?
Very, very big deal. And, I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And, I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who are you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July, There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on, and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
And so you guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier because I wanted to see exactly what the drive was like, what the dock was like, how far it is out there.
Of course.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music? Is it like a big party? Like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, we're just trying to make sure everybody, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out, and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there, and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island with just a few people. This is thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there, there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles of boat. When we went out there earlier today, when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's...
So do you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or just a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats?
Well, I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like every area of Horn Island is covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do you do? When I say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat? Like, how is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people on boats, grabbing drinks and, food, whatever else. Everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring, all the drinks and food that they need because, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably about neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, bow and rear anchor set, and we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got on the water. Then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically.
Who got y'all the liquor?
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students, out on the island, women. You probably had alcohol, so y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, everybody my age, and even people older than us were, over there. It was just a regular thing. We're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. And I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan, and, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, I could tell you, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. There was hundreds of people I knew out there. So,
yeah. And Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's just like I said, just so joyful, always happy. Every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. He's always happy. If I always need a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan. And Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. That's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. There's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to specifically anybody. I would go out, even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. That's how he was. So. And
then you guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying, and
Right.
they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So
What do you guys think about it thus far? Right. Charlotte says no emotional connection to Nolan, no tears, only smiles and laughter. Mike from the Ville says, yeah, I couldn't sit down and talk about a friend that passed knowing I'm being blamed and sit and talk this calm. Anom says everyone shows emotion differently. The original says don't seem hurt too much by it. The perfect tone says the boat was picked up. They played the dispatch recording. What are you talking about? Nurse Lady T says, so he does not seem emotionally empathetic at all. My purpose says the name of the company is See Something, but they never did pick up the boat. The perfect tone says because he's not meeting your standards, he's lying. We're going to move on to the second part of the interview. The original says because a person can speak in a way that seems so believable. Charlotte says, why did they leave the friend who picked them up Was the boat really taking on water? Who deleted information off Nolan Wells' phone? What happened to his throat and lungs? That would be a question to ask as well. What exactly, can you guys prove that the boat was taking on water? Is there a way to even prove that? I don't know. I'm not experienced with boats. Only water I do is showers, baths, washing dishes, swimming, stuff like that, regular, you know? So I'm not sure. Oh, man. Vocoker says his lawyer is probably sitting off camera. My purpose says, so this sounds like a person that just lost his best friend, right? Casually talking about his friend dying. Mike from the video says he's not going to sit down with anyone that's going to ask real investigative questions. They're only going to ask questions to make it look one way. I can't read all the chats, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to part 2. I will get back to the chats and give some more opinions. My purpose says cold-hearted as hell. Mike from the video says everyone does, Anon, but sometimes you could just tell when someone is disconnected. If that was his mother or father who passed, do you think he'd be this calm? I thought they were friends. Nurse Lady T says, this seems scripted. Everybody is saying, Nad knows, says, yep, no real connection. Everybody is talking about the connection. And says, I wish he would ask them why they shut off their social medias immediately following the incident. Who wiped the phone? Why was it such a task for the parents to retrieve the phone? It's a lot of questions to be asked. Let's go ahead with part 2, guys. I appreciate y'all rocking out.
Some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on.
If I'm sitting waist deep in water and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat. I open the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries.
I don't know what time it is where you are. It's 4:20 for me, man.
And that is obviously not good. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. All right, we're in Mississippi right now. We're getting ready to recount the exact path that the boys took, also with Nolan Wells, from where they docked the boat at, all the way out to Horn Island and back.
Guys, if you're watching right now, you haven't, please make sure you hit the like button. I hope we gave you a reason to subscribe so you can return. And if you did subscribe, make sure you turn on all post notifications. We do this daily. We have a lot of fun doing it most times. Even when we cover tough cases, we still try to have a good time in the meantime. And also, guys, if you're feeling any kind of generosity and you're just tired of seeing this same old 2 or 3 disgusting masks and you want me to get some more, send $1, $2 the cash, $2 the Rumonati Network on Cash App, or hit that super chat or that PayPal to help with the tent rent and the green tea fund and keep the lights on so we can keep this content rolling. Other than that, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get back to the chat, show some love for in a little while, but let's keep it rolling, guys.
The boys are going to explain to me exactly what went on, how many people were there, how many boats were taken out, which I think the world is going to be completely dumbfounded when they realize what the truth really is, because the lies have been pervasive. So we're right here where Nolan left on the boat, and you'll find out how many people were there, how many boats, and we're going to take that same path out. I'm going to go look at Horn Island and see exactly where they could have been to get a perspective that the media don't even care to try to do. And then we're going to take the trek back, and we're going to find out exactly what happened to Nolan. This is the reason why I'm here, man. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide. I just don't want you guys to end up in a situation where your story never gets heard. Right here is where Nolan and probably 20 other kids got on the boat. So it's not just Nolan and 3 other kids. That was a lie. That was a myth. I'm going to prove that. Right here is where the kids were docking, and we're going to show you a video that coincided. I'm going to walk at the exact angle that the video is being broadcast from, so you know that I'm exactly where I say I am. But the boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat. And they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats. And some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am.
Is Officer Tatum wrong for just trying to get the facts out, or is he coddling and catering? Or is he just simply trying to get the facts out? What is a story? How can you come to a true conclusion without all of the facts, right? But is that what he's trying to do? Is he trying to just get the facts out, or is he coddling and catering and trying to save? What do you guys think?
And so right now, here's the angle that you're going to see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island.
Hold on.
Boys.
Let me see that again.
So therefore it debunks people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore it debunks very clearly.
Nolan right there walking. Is that Nolan? That's supposed to be Nolan? I thought his shorts were more that color blue. That looks more like a gray.
That it was only Nolan.
But then it is on camera. I'm not going to keep stopping it. This is just different because this is footage I didn't see, guys. I promise.
The video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so right now, here's the angle that you're going to see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island.
So is there footage of Nolan actually? I thought they were talking. I didn't want to.
All right, you guys, sorry about the sunglasses. It's very bright out here and I never wear sunglasses, but we're at Horn Island in almost the exact same position where the boys were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here, but I want you guys to put this in your mind what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. Obviously this is a Monday and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and from what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man, get on the boat, get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was gonna stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat, he didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. And so for them to come out and claim these lies, won't take the time to come to Horn Island, won't take the trip out here to figure out what happened, won't talk to anybody, pushing an agenda is wrong. And that's the reason why I came out here. I wanted to see for myself, what did this look like? What could have happened? Does the stories line up based on what I've seen and what I've heard from people that live here that were involved in this situation? This is where the lie started. People were putting out on social media, knowing that they're lying, that this is what it was like on the day that Nolan and his friends came out here to Horn Island. And if it was 4 or 5 people and they came out here and Nolan was with them and maybe it was a few people out here like it is today and Nolan came up missing, then maybe it would be suspicious. But they didn't take the time to give context to the people because they're evil and they're liars. So if it was like that right now, when the situation happened, I can see how people had a concern. But you got to replay this moment with thousands of people here. If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. And so that's pretty much why I wanted to come here and show you guys. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat out lie. Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, where the island drops off and how the island works. But, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July, this is where people come out to celebrate. And I mean, if you film the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So, I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep. And then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean, we weren't even a quarter mile out the island and when we were leaving, and I mean, it was 30 foot of water. Yeah. But I mean, if we're walking towards the east right now, but if you walk down to the west, that's where west tip of the island is, and that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want
Right.
to, because the way you articulated, I just walked in the water with my pants,
Right.
they're wet, and you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water,
Right.
it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is
Right.
that typical for people to have their phones, or?
No, I mean, people come out here, especially on the 4th and, Memorial Day, days like that, they come out here to celebrate, and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water, and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, if you're sitting on a pond, if no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, it's to take a quick picture, but most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were on the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and, salt water, if you drop your phone in salt water, most of the time you're not going to get it back.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see, the visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, no one has their phone though, usually. I mean, unless you're.
It's just very casual and matter of fact when you're talking about a death, but at the same time, we can't let our expectations, right? And I say our because me as well. I'm like, this guy's he's speaking like, to be frank, as a matter of fact, when his best friend died, but at the same time, he's not me. I'm not him. We may have two different reactions, as well as I haven't had a best friend that died and then I'm being investigated or the finger is being pointed at me for my best friend's life being lost. You know what I mean? So I can't put myself in his shoes. And I'm not saying that I'm sitting here trying to sympathize, but until all the facts are laid on the table. And also what I'm not saying is I'm not saying that I don't suspect some sort of foul play, because it has to be answered for why was his trachea not included when the body was sent for the second autopsy? Why was his lungs and stomach not included when his body was sent for the second autopsy? What took so long? What's up with the phone? Why was his phone wiped? Why did you guys hesitate and make it difficult for his family to receive his phone, his goods? Why would he, of course, a dead man can't tell a tale, so why would there's nobody to dispute them saying, hey, Nolan, come on, get on the boat. And he said, no, I'm going to stay. There's no one there to dispute that. So I'm not pandering or coddling or catering, but I also can't put my expectations. I'm talking about, let's just say he was innocent. I can't put my expectations on it, but I suspect some shit, plain and simple.
Crazy. I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand. They've been walking around Horn Island,
How many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone?
We're not talking about a donors list. We're talking in a trachea. Who can donate a trachea? The body, this isn't a murder. This is an investigation. They're not going to donate first of all, I don't think you can trade a trachea. And then also we have someone in the family that has conducted autopsies right here in the family. The actions weren't typical.
Phone when y'all left, or
right?
Other people have phones on the boat?
Absolutely not. Like there was at least 12.
I didn't convict them. I said I suspect. I didn't convict anybody as well.
I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. To get on the boat with Wyatt because we were having boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console. Everywhere. There was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, you know, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, and that's the way it is around here. You don't take your phone and walk around the island,
Apparently you can donate a trachea, but only as a deceased donor. But what about the investigation? Are they going to donate parts to a body that is still under questionable death? Are they going to take parts from there and use them?
There was plenty of phones on the boat, and spread out between the 3 boats that we had, and I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our 3 boats, so of course everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat. A lot of girls like to take pictures, in the water, and so do guys, but girls want to take pictures in the water.
Keep running the likes up. Keep running the likes up, guys. Keep running the likes up. I'm gonna be quiet. I gotta show some love to the chat though.
You might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else, but as soon as I get back in the boat, I'm putting my phone up and I'm getting back in the water and I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's just common sense, man. And describe to me what the day was like. I saw a video online. How hectic was it out here? I mean, right now it's barren. There's not a lot of people out here, but clearly that's not what it was on the 4th of July. So, like, how dense was it with people here?
Well, I mean, you look at all the videos, that are spread out online, and a lot of them, you can't believe what you see all the time online. You know that better than anybody. But, I mean, there was boats lined up all the way down the island, and there was rows. There was the first row, there's the second row. We were in the 3rd row where it drops off, and then there was even boats in front of us. And this went all the way down towards the east end of the island, and then there was people on the east tip, and we're on the north side now, but there was people on the south side too, lined up all the way down. And if you talk to anybody on the coast about this, they know that. I mean, 4th of July, this is the hot spot. This is where people want to be. This is where people want to come out, hang out with their family and friends. And
people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat, he didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in an emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah.
I thought the girl said that Nolan took, I don't know. Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm glad you cleared that up because I think it's important for people to have the context of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen. And the beauty of all of this is that you guys have evidence to prove that you asked Nolan to come on and different things like that. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Giving me a rundown of kind of what it was like on that day.
Right.
And hopefully people can understand what the truth is and make their own decision on facts.
Right. I mean, based off people. There's not a lot of people that are from the Mississippi Gulf Coast that don't understand Horn Island and don't understand the way boating works. And, boating is a tight-knit community. I like to fish a lot and, there's, everybody, a lot of people know a lot of people. Everybody knows everybody. I know a lot of fishermen on the Gulf Coast. They know me and my buddies because we like to go in the water all the time. I mean, that's what we do in the summer. And, I mean, a lot of people from the Gulf Coast know the truth behind, you don't take your phone out the boat. The little facts. It's a difficult subject. This Horn Island's like 11 miles long, not to be exact, but around 11 miles long. It's not like this is a sliver of an island, it's a quarter mile. It's like a sandbar. No, this goes on to, even if we came around this corner right here, Brandon, we couldn't even see the end of the island because it is that long.
Really?
Yeah, I mean.
I thought that was the end right there.
No. I mean, it goes all the way down there, and I mean, it's a big island. There's a lot of people out here, and I mean, that's the truth. That's the way it was.
I see everybody's focused on that trachea part. Yeah, I'm wondering that too. How often is a trachea donated? How long is the list of waiting for a trachea? Who needed a trachea? And then and why did they take his? And why would his just be a perfect match all of a sudden? If somebody needed a trachea way before, I don't know. It's just the heart, okay. The trachea, I have questions. We have one more part to this interview with Officer Tatum and Warren Hudson. I see how everybody feels thus far. I see the mixed emotions. What I do appreciate and respect is that everybody is able to conduct themselves in a civil manner. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the fact that we can all express ourselves with some sort of respect for the fact that we may disagree. You know, there's no name calling, no BS, none of that extra BS. Usually when we talk about these type of topics, and I really appreciate that from you guys, man, this crowd that has been here thus far, and I hope that we continue to ride out at this pace, man. But thank y'all. Continue to run the likes up. I'm gonna show some love after this. I got to make sure I show some love to the top 10, to the chat, to everybody that just always supports, man. But we're gonna get to part 3 of this interview. I'll get in the chat for a minute, man. I'll get in the chat in a minute. Yeah, like I always say, listen, we don't have to love each other. We don't even have to like each other. All we have to do is all we have to be able to do is coexist. I don't got to love you. You don't got to love me. We don't have to like each other, but we got to be able to coexist. We don't have to respect each other. We can just not disrespect each other. I can make whatever point I'm making without disrespecting you, whether it's against on your political view, a view on sexual orientation, a racial matter, hip hop, whatever it may be, sports. We can have a debate, and it doesn't have to be friendly, but it also doesn't have to be disrespectful. Maybe passionate, but doesn't have to get disrespectful. Let's go on with part 3 of this interview, guys. I appreciate y'all. The most aggravating chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the world. Let's go.
All right, so I want to be clear with this one thing, because I know you mentioned before. Is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. Nolan lit up every room he walked in. 4th of July, everybody was out there. Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. The rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. And then you guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30. Right. People are still out there partying, and they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So I had a girl come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And obviously I have a younger brother, and that's who she was talking about, and I was freaked out. So I walked over to the beach, and I didn't walk over, I ran over. I made a beeline. I didn't talk to anybody, put my drink down and walked over there. And my brother was kind of angry, and there was a lot going on, but someone was getting pulled away. I don't know who it was. And my brother was like, "Oh, I just got in a fight, and this guy punched me in the face," and I punched him right back. And then went to the ground, and my brother put him in an armbar. And
was Nolan involved in any of this?
Absolutely not. When I was over there, it was a bunch of younger guys like my brother's age, and I mean, Nolan, I never saw Nolan over there. Yeah. Absolutely not. And okay, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
So you get ready to go. There's an issue with the boat.
Okay, yeah.
And this is
what this led up to that. That's what I was saying.
So the fight happened with your brother.
Hold on, I'm gonna rewind this. Let me hear this from the beginning. I was not paying full attention, and sorry, guys. Okay, I'm gonna run it from here. I'm not gonna stop it so much. I'm gonna just let it ride. We're going to listen to it. We're going to come back and give our opinions. I'm going to get off in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Keep running the likes up, guys. 4 more likes will get us to 80. 4 more likes will get us to 80. Let's go.
Having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So I had a girl come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And obviously I have a younger brother, and that's who she was talking about, and I was freaked out. So I walked over to the beach, and I didn't walk over, I ran over. I made a beeline. I didn't talk to anybody, put my drink down and walked over there. And my brother was kind of angry, and there was a lot going on, but someone was getting pulled away. I don't know who it was. And my brother was like, "Oh, I just got in a fight, and this guy punched me in the face," and I punched him right back. And then went to the ground. My brother put him in an armbar. And
was Nolan involved in any of this?
Absolutely not. When I was over there, it was a bunch of younger guys like my brother's age, and And I mean, Nolan, I never saw Nolan over there.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And, okay, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
So you get ready to go. There's an issue with the boat.
Okay, yeah.
And this is
Well,
what
this led up to that. That's what I was saying.
So the fight happened with your brother, or the scuffle.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm assuming that it was cleared up.
You're right.
You got your brother out of that situation, and then
Thank y'all for the lights.
How did you find out that this boat is sinking?
Well, I walk back over, and like we're probably around each other for a little bit. I mean, you know, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I told my brother, I pulled my brother off the beach, and I was just like, listen, get in the water, hang out with us, calm down. I mean, he was calm, but I didn't want anything else to happen, you know? And so once I got back over the boat, I got on the Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom. And I was freaked out because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat. And, you know, no water's coming out, no access water's coming out. And, you know, it was a big issue because I think the reason was because there were so many people getting on and off the boat. And at some point, the boat was very, very crowded. And there was just a lot of people on, so that it drags water in. And eventually, I think over time, we were out there for a couple hours. The boat just started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater.
I don't know anything about boats, so I don't know if there's a way to go back and look at the boat now to see if it had taken on water other than damage, if there's a crack or something. But from what he's saying, it seems like some type of plug. I don't know. Let's go.
And so the motor wouldn't trim down. I mean, my buddy would go to trim it down from the console, and it'd trim down, and then it'd come right back up. And so Wyatt's trying to throw a rear anchor, so we're caught, and he's, you know, yelling at people. Everybody's kind of freaking out. And eventually I'm like yelling at other people, trying to tell them, you know, calm down. Like, you know, the boat could possibly sink, you know, and I'm not paying attention to everyone around me. I was paying attention to my buddy's boat. And that's what all my other friends that were on that boat were doing, trying to solve the problem.
So you're on the boat now. The water's getting up to the point where the boat may be disabled to where you couldn't get it out.
Correct.
Now the question is, okay, if everybody that came with you guys, there was 2 or 3 boats that came with you guys. If you guys got towed away, did every other boat leave? So not 4 people didn't leave Nolan. So you saying like a group of like 13 or 14 of y'all left Nolan? Is that what you're saying? Because you said there was more than one boat. Nolan wasn't even on this boat. He was on a separate one. You left in 3 boats.
From Horn
Correct.
Island. So what happens after that?
That to me, you see, to me, that's making it a little more suspicious.
Wyatt jumps to the water, tries to throw a rear anchor, and my buddy Byer.
So everybody left at one time. If one boat is messed up, everybody leaves in a haste, and we all forget a friend, or everybody not forget, but oh, he just decided to stay, even though he rode. So we all go to a car meetup. We come in 3 cars. I don't drive. I ride with one of you guys in the 3 cars. This guy's, I don't know, what's the equivalent of that? His radiator is leaking. He has to hurry up and get home. So for some reason, the entire group leaves, and I don't have a ride or my cell phone, but I stay at the car meet. It's not making sense to me personally. I'm no professional at anything except for wearing a mask on the internet.
You're sitting, looking, trying to pull trash out the bilge, and the bilge is basically a pump that.
To the point where the boat may be disabled to where you couldn't get it out.
Correct.
From Horn
Correct.
Island. So what happens after that?
Wyatt jumps to the water, tries to throw a rear anchor, and my buddy Byer, you're sitting, looking, trying to pull trash out the bilge. My buddy
Your
Byer,
buddy who?
You're sitting, looking, trying to pull trash out the bilge, and the bilge is basically a pump that pulls the water, the excess water out the boat. So the bilge was failing to work. So any excess water was just sitting in the boat. It wasn't getting pumped out. And I looked over the gunnel, and I looked at the release hole for the bilge, and it was even with the water. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, you know, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then eventually my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out to where we're out of all this, you know, all this chaos. Cause we left at 4:30 and there were still just as many people there, if not more than when we got there. I mean, probably around the same amount. I mean, it was crazy. Like there was a lot of people, and I mean, eventually.
Why does it always have to be two catastrophes at once? Why couldn't it just be one thing? Either something happened to the boat or a friend goes missing. Why does it have to be two things at once? And then, oh yeah, the day our friend goes missing and we're not paying attention to anything, it just happened to be something with our boat. Maybe I watched too much TV or something. Maybe I'm emotionally attached to something because shit keep happening and I'm just conditioned to think like this because shit half the time is true, but it seemed like some foul play to me, dog. Like, why all of a sudden the day my black friend goes missing, something wrong with the boat? Did you guys ever have any problems with the boat beforehand? Is this the first outing on the boat with this many people on it? I got other questions I want to know more about. Since you so focused on this boat yourself, let me focus on the boat with you from my vantage point. This ain't.
Bart pulls us out. You know, we left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, you know, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow, and so he was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called Cito. And Wyatt was like, you know.
This could have happened. I'm just saying the irony. Impeccable timing all the time. Oh, something just happened to go wrong and somebody come up missing. I'm talking about any crime story.
Calls them because the cell service isn't great at the island, but once you can use your phone, but stuff might not just send, and it's not great. You know, you got maybe one bar, and it won't work that well. But once you get a little off the island, you have cell coverage, and even on the island, like I called my mom when we were on the island. You know, it was fine. Like we had, you know, enough cell coverage to make a phone call or shoot a text over, but you don't have enough cell coverage to like send a picture, for example. So, Wyatt.
So I want to go back.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that real quick because the phone thing came up at some point. And so was it when you guys got off the boat?
Yeah. I
mean, were people taking their phones off the boat, or is that not typical? Because I know that
man, you asked
Nolan's
that
phone
already.
was left on the boat,
right?
Even though, you know, after you guys had left. So can you explain that? Because I think people need to understand this a little.
You asked that already. Explain why they wiped the phone. Explain the social media shit. Fuck, we already established the fact, okay, nobody's going to have their phone in the water. This is a point. Never mind.
Clear.
Yeah.
Was it typical for people to have their phones left on boats, or did they keep their phones in the water?
Yeah. I mean, everybody kind of goes out to the island to get away from, you know, their phones and everything else. I know I got on the boat to get away from, you know, just the regular world. And no, when you're waist deep in water, no one's carrying their phone in their hand. Especially at Horn Island, the water has been very, very murky because of the rain. And when it's just very risky. If you're gonna have your phone in the water, you know, some people might for a couple minutes and like maybe taking some pictures of each other. You know, I know a lot of girls like to take pictures in the water at Horn Island. You know, guys do too. You know, like people like to take pictures, and but a lot of the pictures you see are on the boat for a reason. And so, no, I mean, if someone is on their phone in the water, they're using it real quick and then putting it right back on the boat. We were all waist deep in water. No one's sitting there scrolling on their phone. I never saw that once. And I've never seen that once. And I've been out to Highland my whole life. I mean, that's just not something people do. People aren't on their phones. And everybody has their phone, yes, but it's always on the boat. No one's getting off the boat with their phone. So.
And so you guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, the last time I saw Nolan was 3:00. And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, dude, you crazy. I was like just joking with him. And but anyway, Nolan, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, you know, be there and asked, you know, this is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. You know, it's a very common thing, but.
Do they do that without their phone though. So explain why is the phone? No, I'm not going for that, bro. I'm not. Anybody can say that. That's just, that's the perfect comeback to why would y'all leave him and he didn't have no ride? Man, you can always get a ride. Everybody out there is cool. That's the perfect comeback for that. Once again, I'm not convicting anybody. I'm speaking with my own opinion as a person who feels that this is a suspicious case. That's it. I'm not convicting anybody. Let the evidence show and let justice be served or whatever, however this shit is supposed to be said. I got a mask on, so don't expect me to do everything proper, right? Or say everything properly astute, right? But what I'm saying is this. I'm not convicting. It sounds damn suspicious. I'm aggravated, dog.
Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And like, no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you got to come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island. And like he said,
how many people heard that? Were there just
at least
just a
five. Everyone that was on our boat right there, because the Palm Beach had already left. My buddy went ahead and went home on the Palm Beach, and three guys on the way back. And Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. I mean, we had multiple people in our group that rode out with us and rode in on someone else's boat. And that, like I said, that's not an uncommon thing to do. I mean, a lot of people do that. I can name probably 50 people out there that day that ran out with somebody and ran back in with somebody else. So, I mean, it's not like it's an uncommon thing, but
it's easy to say prove it though, because I'm thinking as a prosecutor right now, like I'm looking for answers and these guys just seem suspect to me. So of course I'm going to be like, well, prove it then. Now I want to interview all of the people who rode in on somebody else's boat and left on somebody else, rode in on this boat and left on that boat. And I want to know how often this occurs. I'm being nitpicky. I'm the state. I'm prosecution with my mindset right now. So it may be bias. So
it's not like we just left him there or my friends just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple times and told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had text somebody that she heard people yelling
correct
for Nolan to get on. Is that true?
And I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy. And the next day, everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when.
Did she say he was really sweet? Like, this is the last time I saw him, he was really sweet. Did y'all ask him that? Did y'all ask her that? And she said that like he was already gone? Hold on.
She texted my buddy. And the next day, everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him,
he on that blow? That boy said.
Panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to.
Yeah, so you guys get in the boat, you start to get towed in, and you make it back. Now explain how that you get to the point where you were concerned about Nolan, because obviously you said, hey, Nolan, y'all need to, or somebody, not
when
you,
did I get
but
to that point?
You guys have made mention Nolan need to get on a boat. He didn't. Yeah. You guys get back to wherever you're going. Right. Explain that. Did you guys go back to somebody's house, or you guys like what happened there? And then when did you feel like, well, wait a minute, where's Nolan?
Right. Okay. Well, running in was very chaotic. I mean, Nolan chose to stay on the island, so my focus wasn't on anything else other than the boat, because if the boat doesn't get in, then no one gets in. I don't want to sneak out there on my buddy's boat, and no one does. But my buddy Wyatt jumped out and pulled the plug on the boat once we kind of got out there, because he got the motor to trim down. And the motor trimmed down, my buddy Wyatt pulled the plug, and we planed off. We moved all the weight to the front of the boat so we could plane off. And eventually we planed off, and the boat was running. So when you're planed off and you have water in the boat and you're hauling, we're going pretty fast. We're going probably 40, 42 miles an hour. And so all that excess water that was built up in the boat is coming out of the boat. So, I mean, that's what we had to do. So we ran into Fort Bayou, and we didn't just run straight to my buddy's grandparents' house. We ran into Fort Bayou. A couple of us jumped in the water, and Wyatt, the whole reason for the stop was so Wyatt could hop in and put the plug back in the boat. So then after that, we went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at the island, so we were all tired, and eventually we go over to a girlfriend of mine. She was having people over for 4th of July. We were doing fireworks and stuff, so we all went over there to swim and hang out. And
this infamous picture that I've seen online of Nolan in the water in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Where is this picture associated with? Because you said you guys went back to swim. Nolan wasn't with you.
Yeah.
So where's this picture at? What is it? What's the context around the picture that's been floating?
That picture is taken on June 27th, a week before the 4th of July. We all went to a friend of ours in Pass Christian. We have a lot of friends from Bay St. Louis, Pass Christian. We all went over there to hang out, and
And Nolan was in that picture.
Nolan was in that picture, and if you look in the picture, my arm is around Nolan in that picture. And I mean, that was a week before the 4th of July, so that picture is not associated within even the same. I mean, that was like a week before, so yeah.
So you guys are now at swimming and having a good time at a lady friend's house.
Right. I never got to the pool. I talked to her dad for a while, and I mean, all my friends were downstairs. I went upstairs, talked to her dad. We were talking about boats and stuff, and I've been with my friends all day. I was just talking to everybody, but
So you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at?
I mean, I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan, and I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him? And he was like, no, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. I mean, I'm not freaking out or anything, but I'm trying to find out where Nolan is. So I texted Javon, and I was like, hey, and also a couple other buddies that I had at the island. I was like, hey, have y'all seen Nolan? Did he ride in with y'all? And all the buddies were like, no. Well, I texted Javon, and I was like, hey, can you send me Miss Christine's number? Because I haven't heard from Nolan. And if she hasn't heard from Nolan, then I'm calling the Coast Guard. And so eventually, Javon sends me her number.
Who is her? That's
Miss Christine.
Miss Christine is
Nolan's mom.
Nolan's mom.
Yeah. And I walked down to the dock because, I mean, there was a lot of people at Ava's. Not a lot, but, there was probably 15 of our friends there. And I was just walked down to the dock with a couple of my buddies, and I got on the phone. I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time, and I got on the phone with her, and I asked her if she had heard from Nolan. She said no. And I said, all right, well, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. And this was at about 11 o'clock.
So what's your intent in calling the Coast Guard, right? Because right now, Nolan could be with a chick. He could be with somebody else.
Right.
He could have gone back with somebody else. What made you concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't weigh it out anymore? You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him. And obviously, I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it and my buddy be okay than, not, and, me not know where he is and him not be okay. And so I called the Coast Guard, and I talked to them on the phone for 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Nolan was wearing, the last place we were at, the last time I saw him, who were we with, what boat we were on, the conditions of the water, just a summary. And I called Miss Christine back after, and I talked to her, and I said I got in contact with the Coast Guard. I'm not sure who she called or what she did, but I think she said she was going to make a couple phone calls to either DMR or Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And I mean, yeah, I was thinking worst case scenario. I would way rather be safe than sorry about this,
Yeah, so you called. So it seems like you called mom immediately.
Right.
probably the first phone call that she got from anybody.
That's the first phone call, like at least I made. And I would assume that's the first phone call she got from anybody because Javon hadn't called her. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but Javon hadn't called her. And, I mean, I was just worried about my friend. You know, stuff happens out there, boat problems, it could be anything. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens out there. And I was just worried about my friend.
And so you guys made that call, nothing that night. And I'm assuming you wake up the next day, and then what happens?
I wake up the next day at about 7:30, and my dad had texted me because obviously Nolan's photo was all over Facebook, and you know, I just saw it everywhere, and I was freaked out because I was like, oh my gosh, like you know, I assumed, you know, Nolan's just, you know, we had been drinking all day, and like, you know, that he's just sleeping somewhere, and you know that he's okay, but I didn't want to believe that if we didn't know for sure. So I mean, next day I woke up and my stepdad walked to my room. He said, hey, like, have they heard anything about Nolan? Like, what's going on? Because I hadn't spoke to him. And he was like, I was like, yeah, no, like, I don't know. I had just gotten up. And he was like, all right, well, we're going and getting on the boat and looking for him. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I got my buddy Ricky, I got my buddy Brooks, I got my buddy Jax. My mom came on the boat with my stepdad and I, and we all went out there and looked. When I got out there was dozens of DMR boats, helicopters, planes flying over Horn Island. And this wasn't just Horn Island. There was also Ship Island they were looking at, I'm sure, and Chandelier Island, Petty Boy. I mean, it wasn't just Horn Island specifically, but where I was at Horn, there were boats everywhere, and not just like random boats, but like
something just got spilled.
You know,
wrong.
marine resource boats, and you know, cops, and you know, the whole nine. Like it wasn't like there was just a couple boats looking for Nolan. There was planes and helicopters, and you know, everybody. So.
And then after this, you know, obviously they didn't find Nolan that day.
Right.
And so what was your reaction like when you heard the news, or how did you hear the news that they found Nolan's body?
Well, the next day, well, it got to be about 1 o'clock on July 5th, and I was like, my mind started to turn. I was like,
did y'all hear that? Grit money.
Shout out Mike from the Ville. We almost at 100 likes. What the F y'all doing? Tap that screen. Let's go. Run them likes up with that $1.99 super chat. Super duper salute to you, Mike from the Ville. I appreciate you. Gio, you're probably going to be happy. LeBron just went to the Sixers. I can't believe it. Now let's get back to this, guys, and then we're going from this. I'm gonna give a few thoughts. Then we're going right to the Yella Beezy case. Let's go.
What was your reaction like when you heard the news, or how did you hear the news that they found Nolan's body?
Well, the next day, well, it got to be about 1 o'clock on July 5th, and I was like, my mind started to turn. I was like, man, you know, if he's not awake yet, like, where is he? Like, you know, like I got very, very worried, and you know, I was with my buddy Brooks the next day, and we're driving, and my buddies were texting my group chat. They were like, hey, listen, and then I got a phone call from my buddy Trace, and he was like, hey, man, they just found his body. And I was like, I wanted to have hope, but it was really, really hard to have hope when they haven't found your buddy in the last 2 days. And but there's still a little bit of hope there, you know, like maybe, you know, he's not gone, and maybe, you know, he's okay. But my reaction was just, I was with my buddy Brooks, and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And I mean, I broke down, and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder, and I cried. And I was upset. I made a couple phone calls to my buddies and checked up on my buddies because, you know, I care about my buddies too. I mean, like, we're all experienced this. Like, we all.
One thing I just noticed is, why did they take the camera off him to show this guy? It should be a split screen. Officer Tatum, no disrespect to you. The moments when he's talking about he's emotional and he's saying the next day he just started crying without Nolan's death even being confirmed. After he immediately, first thing that comes to his mind, oh, you heard from Nolan? No, call the Coast Guard, which could be something proper to do as a concerned friend. And we did just leave the water, right? But all of a sudden, like you have this feeling or this premonition, like Nolan's gone, and you just break down or something. I don't know. It could only be suspicious because now that's me being anecdotal, right? I could just be taking it like, no, see, that means he's guilty. That could be. Let me fall back and let the facts be the facts.
I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And
why they?
I mean, I broke down, and
this is the moment they should be showing him when he's talking to. Oh my God, bro, I'm sorry.
My buddy Brooks, and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And I mean, I broke down, and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder and I cried, and I was upset. I made a couple phone calls to my buddies and checked up on my buddies because, you know, I care about my buddies too. I mean, like we're all experienced this. Like we all realized at the same time. We all heard the news at the same time. Like, you know, he's gone, and so it was really, really hard on me. I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was, and I just remember like it was insane. Like I can't even put into words how upset I was, you know, and how upset my friends were. So,
and then comes the
I may have misunderstood
stories and the backlash and the craziness. I mean, you guys are now hearing that you're responsible for it. You did it. You killed Nolan. So what was the next step? Did you guys ever engage with police or?
Yeah. So the first time I talked to the police was July 7th. I talked to the lead investigator, and I told them my whole story, top to bottom, dotted every I, crossed every T. I told them everything I knew, every little detail. I mean, everything I could, you know, tell them to try to figure something out, you know.
Were you the only one to talk to the cops, or
no? Of course
some
not.
Other guys
you know, every person that was included, especially, you know, the guys that you see on social media, everybody cooperated with the police fully. You know, Nolan was with us on the way out, and he rode out on the boats with us. So, I mean, we were the first people to get questioned. I mean, we cooperated with the police the first time they called us, and, you know, we talked to them, you know, as soon as they needed, and we were fully cooperative.
And we see Benjamin Crump coming to town, made it about race.
Right.
What's your feeling about that? Do you think that any of this has anything to do with race, or, because, I mean, obviously something happened to Nolan. It appears that you guys may not have been involved at all. When I say may not, it's no evidence that you were involved at all. You guys had left.
Right.
But do you think that there's a racial component to any of this?
Of course not. I mean, I think if Nolan ever felt the most little bit uncomfortable around us, which we never gave him a reason to, but if he did, he wouldn't hang out around us. But if you go look on, you know, like my friends have had Nolan posted all over our social medias, you know, since freshman year in high school. Like, if Nolan ever felt uncomfortable with us, why would he be hanging out with us all the time? I mean, every day we're back from college, we hang out and we're around each other all the time. So absolutely not. I would never look at Nolan any other way than I would any of my other friends. I mean, he was like a brother to me.
You guys had been interviewed by law enforcement. All of you guys have given statements. But then I think that there's a part associated with this that's being rumored out in the public, and that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Oh, this motherfucker. You son of a... No, he did it. It's perfect timing, though, because we got to get back to the Yella Beezy trial.
Traffic-related evidence in this case. On number one, where it's laid out in photographs, videotapes, audio tapes, drawings, charts, and diagrams made by the state. If I'm making something, Your Honor, it could be my work product, and it could be things that I'm using for my own personal preparation of this case. So I would object to anything that I'm making outside of what is going to be offered at trial and for the purposes of an exhibit.
Right, this will not include work product by the state.
For the following, E, we have no objection. F, I have no problem with defense inspecting physical evidence. However, they would need to, and I'm happy to put them in touch with Detective Barnes. However, I believe Detective Barnes or defense has his contact information. They would have to coordinate with DPD or the other agencies because we don't house the property here. So it would need to just be coordinated with the Dallas Police Department.
All right, so the defense will make that contact and schedule a date for whatever physical evidence you need to review.
As far as the test results, we provided all the test results, so no problem providing them with all test results regarding scientific evidence, reports. As far as things that were made by quote-unquote experts, we have no objection with any of that under subsection G.
Under H?
Subsection 1,
Oh, hold on. We got somebody in the
2,
Discord.
3, subsection 1, 2, and 3 would all be, if it exists, it's already contained within the discovery that's
Hold on,
been
y'all.
provided.
Give me a second. The screen gonna change colors. I'm doing something. I think we got somebody in the Discord. Hold on.
I would ask for clarification on number 4. But the evidence of pertinent trait of character of the alleged victim of the crime with the defendant.
Come back up. Come back to the Discord if you want to chime in.
You know, little, like, I don't know what the defense wants me to say about the victim's character. It seems like an opinion question that I would be giving.
Right. This is something, if at all, it'll come through testimony.
Come on up.
What this point is asking.
Mels, come back. Go to Discord. We can rewind this Yella Beezy. I'm upset. He was smart to do what he did. We wait to get to the end to get to the part he's doing a walk down. I got to give him credit. Whether I agree with his viewpoints or not don't matter. But yeah, come on up. Come on up. If you cool, if you all good, just let me know then. So I could,
this stuff that we have, because I do know it's in there somewhere, I believe. As far as me providing pertinent traits of the victim's character, outside of witnesses who were going to testify to that, I don't know how I would even do that.
Well, I think a big part of what the state is alleging is that, and I think that we heard Detective Barnes talk about an alleged beef between various parties, and that there was a tremendous amount of testimony in that pretrial hearing about the decedent in this case, and statements that he made, raps that he made.
Males, come to the front.
Referencing firearms and killing people and found
Okay,
all of
hold
that
on,
kind
y'all.
of thing. And the state is
Give me a
obviously in
second.
possession of it because they had a whole hearing.
I haven't heard from Nolan, and if she hasn't heard from Nolan, then I'm calling the Coast Guard.
Mels, you are live. What's up?
That baby, I want to say that baby. That's because that's how I talk. But he not telling the truth. He is not telling the truth, and he got somebody to tell him to fix his composure, stand behind, or with him to tell him to fix his composure. Like, for one, ain't nobody ever said that Horn Island was just the four of them. Nobody's ever said that. We all got the fact that it was a big party.
Right.
For two, nobody is in the water with their phone, but taking pictures on the island. You gonna tell me you can't carry your phone to the island just to take pictures?
Right.
No, they're not going to load up to whatever app that you're trying to load them up to, but that's what most people do. Take the pictures. Once they get to service, that's when the pictures are going to upload.
Right.
For three, when Nolan said he not coming, and y'all was like, okay, why didn't you you, your buddy, or whomever didn't give him his phone and his keys. How was he gonna get home?
That's what I was trying to understand.
I just wanted to make it make sense. Like, make it make sense.
That was my question as well. If he did decide to stay, how hard would it have been to give him his phone, or pass it on to whatever the next boat that he was supposed to be on or something? Like, why leave with all of his belongings, and why is it so difficult for the mother and father to retrieve them? But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Then, Miss Christine, you never told us that Warren called you that night. You never told us that. So is that a lie? Or is Miss Christine lying?
Is it a lie if you don't disclose all the information? I guess that could be considered facetious, I guess. But
she made it seem like when she got up that morning, okay, on the 5th, she made it seem like on the 5th, that's when she went and got his phone. Her sister went and got his phone.
Now, when he was talking about he burst into tears in the back of the car or something like that, was this before Nolan's death was announced and confirmed? That's what I thought I misunderstood. Was that beforehand or was that afterwards? Did he confirm it in the car and start crying, or did he just have some type of feeling and premonition beforehand and start crying and then he found out? I wasn't clear on that.
I'm not clear on it either. All I know is that he started crying. But why was your immediate thought at 11 o'clock at night that, oh, he done drowned? Why was that your immediate thought when there's so many people you haven't gotten word that Nolan drowned? You know what I'm saying? Like, why was that your immediate thought?
That's what I didn't understand. I that was a little suspicious as well. The first thing you went to was thinking that he's gone, like the motherfucker dead. Like, he can't be laid up with one of the females. He can't be at another friend's house. It's instantly, oh. And I have to say this. Oh, my black friend is gone. My black friend is dead. Because it's just suspicious. Why is it Nolan? Why couldn't it have been? And I'm not wishing it on anybody, but how come when this boat incident occurred and this haste to leave happened, Wyatt didn't come up missing, or whatever any of their other names are didn't come up missing? It's just...
And you said everybody that was on the Triton was in the water trying to help figure out what was going on with the Triton. So everybody that was on the Triton is Nolan. Nolan is included in everybody because that's the boat that he came up on. He rode the Triton to Horn Island. It's just not making sense. It's not making sense at all. I just want someone with a little bit more education to explain to me, because I'm clearly slow. Like, my level of common sense, my level of common sense is not clicking in this moment. So I'm not getting it. Or maybe I need somebody from, and not to be offensive, white culture to come and explain it to me, because me personally, if I'm gonna leave one of my friends behind, I need to know who you're riding with. I need to know that they got room for you. You know, if I'm going to leave you behind, I need to know all the deeds before I actually leave you. Because if they don't have room for you, then you're not staying. You getting your tail up and you coming.
I agree. Final thoughts on the Nolan case, and do you have any thoughts on the Yella Beezy case?
I'm never gonna have a final thought on the
I just mean for right now,
Nolan.
so we can move on,
I
because we
know,
got to catch
but-
up on the case. Anybody else want to
Yeah.
come up? Go ahead. You guys can get a few minutes on Discord and chime off. Let us know how you feel about the content. Give your comments. Let's go. What you got to say, Nels? I'm sorry.
I really don't I understand the case, but I don't understand it in its totality. Like, I don't know the back and forth between the two to want somebody gone. But I do want to say, where all my liking people at? I need y'all to handle that. Hit that like. Hit that like. Hit that like.
Hit that like. You funny for that. Appreciate that. Shooter, shout out to you, Mel. Super duper salute. Thank you for always chiming in. You know what I'm talking about? That's fam right there. Y'all give it up for Mel. You know what I'm talking about? If anybody else want to come up and give their opinions on any of the content, feel free to go to the main page of this channel and join the Discord. Make sure you got it downloaded. But before we move on, we are gonna show some love to the chat. We are gonna call out the top 10. But first, we gotta celebrate, fool. We done broke the glass. Super duper salute to y'all. We done got over 100 likes. How the we get a whole 100 likes? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shout out to y'all, man. We done broke the glass with 100 likes. Super duper salute to y'all. The most aggravating chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the world. Y'all so aggravating, man. Y'all get on my damn nerves. I cannot believe this. We done broke the damn glass. 100 likes. Let's go. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Always running it up. Always running it up. Always supporting. Always showing love.
You were probably
Always showing love. Hold on real quick. We gonna move on. Real quick, let me show some love. Top 10. We got Mike from the Ville. We got Slim Jones McGeezy. We got Gio Roman. I said McGeezy. I don't want to hear that shit. Number 3, we got Gio Roman. Number 4, we got Nurse Lady T. Number 5, we got Miss Uval. Number 6, we got XO Mills. Number 7, we got Anonymous 111. Number 8, we got Jamal Thomas. Number 9, we got Ann. And number 10, we got The Perfect Tone. And then number 11, honorable mention. Shout out to the homie Coyote, the world. Super duper salute to y'all, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Keep running them likes up. Stay active in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know about the fan funding so far. Super duper salute. We got that boy Mike from the Ville going crazy with the $1.99 and the $4.99, and Miss Duval with the $2. Super duper salute to y'all. Thank y'all. Did y'all hear that? That's how we keep the tent rent paid, the green tea funded, the lights on, and this content rolling. Now let me show some love to the chat real quick. Then we're going to keep going with the content, y'all. All right. I see Gio Roman. I see Perfect Tone. I see Ann. I see Mike from the Ville. I see, is that Mel Gilham? I see Tony Farrell, the Pharaoh. I see Jamal Thomas. I see Deegan Moon Boy. I see, is this the same goddamn name? Slim John. Who? Slim John. I see After Truth. Did I say Gio Roman? I said it again. I see Black Magics. I see people in the chat now. I see Lone Ranger, Kimmy Johns, Anon. All right, that's about as far as I can go. As far as they're gonna let me go. Did I say Mike from the Ville? If I didn't, I said it again, damn it. I said it again. I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's just go straight to the Yella Beezy. We ain't gonna waste no time. We got to get caught up. We could do a whole deep dive on that officer interview later. We got two things at once going on, so we got to keep up with the content, man. I appreciate y'all for being patient, being a little bit of ADHD and flipping back and forth with us. But this is what happens when you're covering multiple things at once. You might miss some of this and you might get an update. You might miss some of that. You might get an update. But what you're going to get is the content. Damn it. Let's go.
All right, so the second motion to adopt motions, objections and requests for instructions of co-defendant. Does the state have any comments or?
Oh, let's go back. So let's see where we at. Deegan, Moonboy, and Ann. Anon was saying something about that the father of the girl needs to be questioned, and I agree. Just question him. Doesn't mean he's guilty. We're not convicting him. We're just questioning him.
A description of the contemplated testimony. Then I'm summarizing what this individual may testify to, and that puts me in the spot of creating a narrative, and I'm not the person testifying. I'm happy with giving the name and address. I'll even throw in profession. However,
and the subject of the testimony, not necessarily a summary. It's a subject.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
All right.
Number 5, it's dealing with criminal histories, again, of each witness for the state. Of course, the court knows our position on that.
Yes.
Again, on number 6.
So you have my position on that.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You have my ruling on that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. To adopt my rulings on their motions, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go back there and say, well, is this going to benefit P1 White or, not?
I'm not asking the court to do that.
Okay.
As an example, there was an extensive pretrial hearing in Mr. Conway's case regarding the admission of rap lyrics.
Okay.
So what this motion is about and what it's asking for is, for example, and I have no idea how the court is going to analyze any of that information, but should the court decide, for example, that rap lyrics are not relevant and they're overly prejudicial and they're not probative, if that's how the court rules, then we would want that same ruling to be able to apply because it's about rap lyrics and not necessarily the content of what's being said.
Okay.
That is what this motion is about.
Okay.
As an example.
Okay. And I don't see that the state can object to this.
Well, Your Honor, on that general, again, that is a specific example. This is a general motion.
And I'm treating this as a general motion.
Right, so as a general motion to adopt what would be ruled upon in Mr. Conway's case, we might want to approach and explain to the court or give examples of how something may be relevant. Again, as a specific example of the Conway hearing as it relates to rap. I understand that as it relates to those specific exhibits. As it relates generally, which this motion is, we would need to be heard as far as why things may be relevant in Mr. White's case if the court found that they weren't in Mr.
Well, absolutely.
Conway's.
During trial, both sides will have to, make their arguments during cross or direct. And, this is just a specific example that she gave. But during the trial itself, counsel is going to have to object and raise concerns regarding whatever evidence the state intends to put in or whatever arises during testimony. Ms. West, that is your understanding, correct?
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay.
Told her ass. They still waiting on the judge to vote in rap
Motion for
lyrics.
disclosure of expert witnesses.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, are you granting this motion then?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion for disclosure of expert witnesses.
On page 2, Your Honor, we would object to I'm fine with name and address in a CV if they have one. I'll ask them if they have one. I've provided CVs on the people that I know have one. Under number 1, I'm fine with that. The subject matter of the expert's anticipated testimony, I mean, just a brief description of it, I'm fine with that. A summary of their opinions and conclusions, I'm objecting to that because, again, that puts me in a place of putting, making almost a record of what I believe their testimony is, and I would object to that because it's not required by law, and again, that puts me almost in a witness position. The basis and methodology used to reach those opinions, again, Your Honor, that puts me in a position of creating something. It's more than the law requires of the state. They have their names and their addresses and their CV if they have it. Number 5, I'm fine with any reports, notes, or testing results prepared by the expert. I'm fine with that, even though that's not required by law. Any documents, photographs, or data reviewed or relied upon by the expert, even though it's not required by law.
Just an update. We're going back to Nolan.
Is
Give me a minute.
Contained within the information they're providing. So I'm fine with it to the extent that it actually is provided by them. The expert's qualifications, including education, training, and publications, again, that I think falls under CD in subsection 1 and is more than the law requires. Number 8, any prior testimony by the expert in criminal cases, definitely objecting that one as far as it is extensively more than the law requires.
And if I could just address that point specifically, it's written very oddly. It's just, usually on an expert CV, it'll say, I've testified, in 15 criminal cases. I understand that this reads as if I want the testimony that they gave in those other cases. It's that I want notice of, like, this person has testified in Alabama, California, in 15 criminal cases.
It's not a requirement.
I'm asking.
If the state would be gracious enough to give that to the defense, if you know, then that's fine. Otherwise, that's something that the defense can ask about, during cross
Right,
of the
yeah,
expert.
John, I think on the CVs they have them listed, but I don't have a list of all that.
I've seen some that have it and some that don't. So
I believe Dr. Nielsen and Detective Lawrence had that last week.
okay.
So to the extent that I have that, of course I would provide it.
Okay, so I'm going to sustain the state's objections to number 3 and number 4.
And again, Your Honor, just so the record is clear, I'm not challenging the court's ruling. In number 4 specifically, this is what is the methodology, if any, applied that the expert used. I'm not asking for the state to make up a methodology. It's, for example, when you have a insanity case, there are specific methodologies that are used by experts to make determinations. That's what I'm asking for when I say methodology.
Underlying data that they relied on.
Data,
Yes,
that
exactly.
kind of.
But as for how they applied the methodology or what they used, that's something that you will find out when the witness is on the stand.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then for number 3, I contemplated that a summary of the expert's opinion and conclusions is just something that expert would provide to the state and then would be sent to me. That's what I contemplated with number 3. So it's not something that I'm asking Mr. Adams to create and form his opinion about what somebody else is saying, but just for them to say this is generally what I intend to talk about, and that be forwarded.
The subject matter,
Your Honor,
The subject matter.
it just briefly.
which is number 2. Go ahead.
The law, there's a reason that the law has only the requirements of name and address when it comes to experts. There's another mechanism, and it's the appropriate mechanism to handle this, and that's to have a hearing. So that's why I'm objecting to all of that outside of what's required under the law, because if Ms. West wants that and defense counsel wants it, there's a mechanism by which to do that, and we can have a hearing as to the experts, their qualifications, their backgrounds, what cases they testified. And if they want to have that hearing, by all means, we can have those hearings to each and every expert. However, I'm objecting to all of that is outside what's required by law.
Right, and I've sustained your objection. The rest of the motion is granted. Motion for discovery of all information obtained by the police from the Crime Stoppers program.
Your Honor, if there was any, that would be contained within the discovery that was previously provided, so I've got no objection.
Okay. That's granted.
Is she gonna let the rap music in or not? Can they use the lyrics? That's what we're waiting to hear.
Motion for discovery of exculpatory and mitigating evidence. Has the state reviewed that motion?
I have, Your Honor, and the only word, just because I am very particular when it comes to words, just agents, generally.
Which paragraph?
Paragraph number 1, in the possession of its agents, and we're talking about agents of the state. Again, there's been a lot of talk about federal agents and stuff like that. I have no objection to disclosing any exculpatory or mitigating information, as well as all my requirements under 3914 Brady and its prodigy.
Okay. That motion is granted. Motion for discovery and preservation of recorded incoming telephone calls and dispatch radio communications.
I don't know if that's asking me for a response, because I don't have any ability to go back and preserve 911 calls 6 years later.
Ms. West, would you explain that, this motion?
Okay, I mean, again, I appreciate that it's been 6 years. There was a re-indictment in 2025. It's not the defense's responsibility to preserve and collect evidence, and so this is to ensure that everything as it relates to radio traffic, 911 calls, communications between officers, everything that occurred on November 11, 2020, which is the subject of this trial, regarding communications between law enforcement, is preserved and turned over to the defense as required.
Does that clarify things for the state?
I think this would be a proper motion and something that the city's attorney's office would have to reply to, and it would need to be served on Dallas Police Department. To the extent that, that's a motion for them to respond to. I've provided everything that I've received from Dallas Police Department as it relates to this offense back in November of 2020.
I'm going to grant this motion. All those calls and communications, hopefully the state preserved all of that. All right, is that the extent of the defendant's motions? Did I miss any? Ms. West?
You have 1 second? 1 minute.
Yes.
Still no ruling on the entry of music yet. Still no ruling on the entry of music. Kewan White will be up for trial first. There you go, look at him. August 24th, boy.
If I may,
Yes.
the court has heard the, I believe was any agreements, motion for any agreements by the state. And I just wanted to kind of expound in the hearing with Marquise Conway as it relates to the rap queries. Detective Lawrence several times said that Darvarius Moore was a suspect but was not charged. And I think our concern is that if there's any agreements or any actions on the state part with them not pursuing an indictment on someone in response to that person cooperating with the state, we would like to know that.
Yes, and that's envisaged in the motion and in my ruling.
Okay.
any agreements at all, any concessions made to any co-defendants or suspects, that needs to be turned over to the defense.
And also, we just make an oral motion, Your Honor, that we have the ability to file additional motions if necessary.
Yes, you do.
That's it. Thank you.
Both sides have. All right, is there anything else? Does the state have any motions at this time? I think I ruled on the state's motions.
You rolled on ours in January, Your Honor.
Yeah, okay. All right. If there's nothing else, that concludes this hearing. Thank you. Devin Brown is next up.
You still didn't rule on music. Devin Brown coming in. Egghead ass, look at this boy. Devin Brown. They say he already yapping. They say Devin Brown already yapping. Hey, nurse. She got, ooh, hey. Cheek. She got some little, I call her a nurse. She a lawyer. She could take care of me either way. Hey. She had them fritters, little small cheeks. They go though. Sorry, ladies. No disrespect. All cheeks matter. Cheeks!
Yes. His attorneys are here. Does the state have motions on Brown that you would like me to consider?
Still hasn't ruled on the music. Trust me, I've been keeping updates. I follow the guy that everybody else follows, Bryson Boone Paul. There is no updates. She still hasn't ruled on the music yet.
Yes. Thank you.
Are they bringing Devin Brown in? I guess not. Shout out to y'all, keep running the lights up. And says them girls whose house he was at, I feel they were a big part of MO3 setup. Into my Jossie Banks. Slim Jones says, ain't he the Transformer, Devin Brown? Nah, the one that just left is the one that loved the work on transmission. Neil says follow us on TikTok at the RUMORNATI Network. And said they should play the lives they did immediately after the shooting. Oh man, I'm sure they're gonna do that in trial. Trap Boy, I'm surprised Trap Boy ain't on this case. But I guess you gotta follow the money trail, right? Oh, there go Devin Brown. Trap Boy might have hyped
All right,
up
both sides ready?
Yella Beezy to get the job done. Let me be quiet now. Let's go.
Thank you.
Adapt.
That's it on the record. This is cause number F2500177, style the state of Texas versus Devin Brown. Is that your name?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, will the attorneys announce their presence?
I'm here to snitch.
And he passed for the citizen accused, Your Honor.
With our relative state Texas. Tommy, I have state Texas.
Thank you. And Mr. Brown is charged by indictment with the first-degree felony offense of capital murder for remuneration. And today is the pretrial hearing. The defense has submitted a document titled Defendant's Election and Omnibus Pretrial Motion. Has the state had an opportunity to review that motion?
We have, Your Honor.
Does the state have any objections to any of the requests made therein?
Under subsection 9, under exculpatory mitigating evidence, or evidence inconsistent with guilt, of course, we would comply with all of our legal obligations and obligations under 3914, Brady, as it relates to any other law enforcement agencies or prosecuting offices that are from the federal government. We, of course, have made requests to them for specific things as it relates to witnesses in this case, and we will turn over those things that we receive from them. As it relates to everything that's in our possession or an agent of the state, of course, we will turn over. I just want to make sure that's on the record. The court has put that on the 2 previous defendants. Just want to make sure that I put that on the record as it relates to Mr. Brown.
All right.
As it relates to...
That's granted.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And so 1 through 8, we're agreed on all those. Number 10, as it relates to disclosure and production of physical evidence, we're happy with defense reviewing, inspecting any and all physical evidence. We've just asked that they coordinate with Dallas Police Department or the ATF to review it because it's not actually housed here in our office.
Okay. So the defense needs to review any or eyeball any physical evidence, make the scheduling, and meet up with the law enforcement or investigators and schedule a date to review that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That's granted.
Number 11, my only problem there is on what the expert plans to testify on or about. I'm providing defense. I either have provided, and I believe I've provided all of the finalized reports, but I know I've also included drafts, but as far as what they're going to testify to is...
I think that refers to subject matter.
Just as far
on
as...
what the expert plans to testify to or about. Subject
Providing
matter.
just the reports. I mean, again, not me writing down and providing
No.
them. Okay. Then otherwise,
That's
okay.
granted.
Judge, on that issue, I just want to make sure, our client ain't got no money. So we don't have no money to be trying to get all the transcripts from all this gang junk they were talking about the other day. I just want to make sure that the court will pay for a copy of those transcripts for my client, because I'm telling you, he ain't got no money.
You are retained, correct?
Yeah, that was...
I understand. You can, we can talk about that.
Well, I want to make sure that the court was well aware that he can't even afford us, let alone an investigator.
Oh, you're doing this pro bono?
We are.
Yeah, basically, because we didn't anticipate, we've gotten, I don't know how many terrors of discovery.
It's called terabytes.
Okay, it's a lot of information that has nothing to do with my client, so
Okay. I will pay for the transcripts.
Thank you.
All right. All right, go ahead, Mr. Adams. Yes,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
As it relates to number 14, criminal histories of witnesses. We've covered this previously, and I know Ms. Evans and Mr. Harris were both in here as it relates to criminal histories. I believe Mr. Harris was actually our first assistant when they had to go down and fight this whole deal. So I think he's very aware that we don't run law enforcement officers, but we will provide criminal histories of any witness that we intend on calling, and I will do my due diligence as far as asking officers about prior arrests or criminal histories that I intend on calling. But I know Mr. Harris put a good fight on that deal and got a ruling on it as first assistant.
Okay. Yes, that number 14 is granted, and the state will turn over any criminal history information of its law enforcement officers or civilian witnesses.
Again, regarding the last paragraph on page 4, regarding any deal, immunity, promises, compensation, rewards, we will of course comply with all of our legal ethics and obligations under 3914, the Texas Rules of Professional Conduct, case law, Brady, Giglio, and so forth. However, when it comes to things that may be in only the possession of the federal government, I am doing my due diligence to request all of that information or any potential evidence that is out there. And if I do receive any of it, I will, of course, turn it over to all defendants, in this case, in their attorneys. But going on to page 5 at the top, because it's a continuation on, we would object to a complete exact disclosure of the
Thanks,
agreement, including notes, documents, recordings, electronic communications, and records reflecting the agreement. Again, my objection is not regarding the state and the state's actors and the state's agents acting on behalf of the state. My only objection is to those things to which I have access to. If I do receive them from the federal government, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the district judges over in federal court release them, I of course will comply and will turn over all of those things. But that is my only hiccup on that.
Yes, that's granted, so long as the state is making the inquiries and
Correct.
asking of the federal government, and if you do know that there are any agreements made by them relating any of these witnesses or co-defendants, then you will further investigate, or at least let the defense know that this is information that is out there that needs to be developed. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The only other thing, and I think this one can probably be held off on for now, and I'll leave that to defense counsel. It's number 19, a motion to suppress. We would just ask that they file a motion as to any hearings or motion to suppression hearings that they have or they want to have. But
Yes, if there's any evidence out there that you feel should be suppressed, then you need to file a separate motion.
Yes,
And
Your
bring
Honor.
that to the courts, bring that to the court's attention separately so we can deal with that ahead of time. Otherwise, that's granted.
And Your Honor, we may just make a leave as well to file additional motions after we receive the notice of extraneous that's going to be supplied. We may have an additional motion eliminated as it relates to Mr. Brown.
You may file whatever other motions you feel appropriate.
Thank you, Your Honor.
and I'll have their motion, their notice of extraneous on Monday as well.
Okay.
Also, as it relates just so that it's on the record, inspecting the priors and stuff like that, I know Ms. Evans did and Mr. as well, and then if they want to schedule time to come in and look at the priors and fingerprints and all that, by all means, they're in hard copy in my office.
Okay, and available as a Monday.
Yes, ma'am. The only one that I don't have, as I stated on another record, or on the record of Defendant White, would be his Mr. White's Eastern District prior. Everything else I believe I have.
Okay. Okay, is that the extent of the defendant's motion?
Defense counsel did file them in all of their cases, but I think just for simplicity, my position on all of them, on all of the defense cases would be the same. And if the court wanted to adopt that as to cover all of his cases, I'd be fine with that.
Court will do that. Court will adopt all the court's rulings on this motion through the defendant's other cases. Okay. Other than the ones noted, the defendant's omnibus pretrial motion is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Now let's go over to the state's motions and notices. State's first motion in limine. Has the defense had an opportunity to review that?
We have, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
That's granted. State's second motion in limine. Has the defense reviewed that motion?
We have, Your Honor, and we have no objection.
That's granted. State's motion to require the defendant to be photographed.
Your Honor, we have no objection to that.
Okay, that's granted. Motion to disclose experts.
Your Honor, we have no objection, and should we have an expert, of course, we will supply the information.
That's granted. Okay, and then there's this agreed order.
I think that's covered by all of the previous motions that have been granted.
Right, I would say so. So the court will decline to sign that order.
No, I withdraw.
Okay, very good.
I have not e-filed it anyway, Your Honor.
Okay,
Madam Brooke?
yes.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other motions?
None from the state, Your Honor.
None from the defense.
Okay.
Judge, the only one caution, I don't know if they're claiming that my client is a rapper. It's not a very good one. I just want to make sure that we adopt those motions from co-defendants regarding the hearings on the gangster music and all that stuff.
Okay. All right, that's noted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. There's nothing else. That concludes this hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Devin Brown lost weight. Keywan White put on weight. Judge, what's up with the music? I'm still unclear on the music. Is she gonna rule later? Like, what is? Let me go to Bryson. Hold on, let me see.
Where's us? So we're at lunch, so you can clear the court. We're at lunch, so clear the court.
Just so we're at lunch, y'all can clear the courtroom for us, please.
So that's it.
Person in the world that's associated with this case. It's very
And we still don't know. We still don't know if they're going to admit the rap music, which is some of the most damning and damaging evidence. These guys, let's see, hold on. Even if they were to do the live streams that these guys used to be doing, right? When they would go live and say, if this one, especially afterwards, it was crazy. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I'm checking to see if there's any updates. I'm checking Twitter. I'm on Reddit. I'm on a few different sites. Give me a second.
Reason to not want to?
I'm just confirming that they didn't say anything about the music yet. That's all I'm trying to do. Just confirm nothing so far about the music.
Contemplated testimony. Then I'm summarizing what this individual may testify to, and that puts me in the spot of creating a narrative, and I'm not the person testifying. I'm happy with giving the name and address. I'll even throw in profession. However,
and the subject of the testimony, not necessarily a summary. It's a subject.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
All right.
Number 5, it's dealing with criminal histories again. Number 5, it's dealing with criminal histories again of each witness for the state.
Still don't see nothing.
Of course, the court knows our position on that.
Yes.
Again, on number 6.
Then you have my position on that.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You have my ruling on that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Again, I believe number 6 covers that as well.
Okay.
Moving on to B's statements, I'm fine with everything up until number 11, which I just want to, 11, 12, and 13, I just want to make sure that it's on the record that we have.
That's right, Judge. You tell him.
Provided these transcriptions for 11, 12, and 13. I don't have any problem with them. I'm just letting the court know that we have
provided those.
complied with that. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, guys, I don't see any
And Your Honor, if
updates.
I may, I just want to, I do know that I have
I don't see any
received,
updates.
I have received information as it relates to testimony at the grand jury.
All right. Don't see no updates. Didn't hear anything about a ruling on music. Don't see any updates about a ruling on music thus far. After checking all of the credible sources, especially Bryson Boone Paul, who has been covering this case, he has been great media thus far for this case. He is the one that everybody has been getting their information from. Shout out to that guy. Still unclear what's going to happen with the music. August 24, Keywan White's case will start. Yella, Beezy as well, but they say Keywan is going first, so all this is tied in. So, yeah, be ready. Be prepared. In the meantime, we're going to get ready to get up out of here. I'm going to show some love to the chat real quick. Shout out to y'all, the top 10. Number 1, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 2, we got Slim Jones McEasy. Number 3, we got XO Mells. Number 4, we got Gio Roman. Number 5, The Perfect Tone. Number 6, Nurse Lady T. Number 7, Miss Duval. Number 8, Anonymous 1. Number 9, Jamal Thomas. Number 10, and then number 11, honorable mention, Coyote the World. Let's go. I think he made it number 11 honorable mention last time, right? Shout out to the fan funding. I call it super support, man. Shout out to all support, but especially the super support. That's how we keep the lights on. Miss Duval with a $2 super chat, super step. Mike from the Ville with a $4.99 and a $1.99 super chat, super step. Let's go. Super duper salute to y'all. Thank y'all and much appreciation, much gratitude and respect, homes. Gio Roman says, my God, I'm going to catch y'all on the Discord. Salute to the chat. Salute to the mods. Happy Friday, everyone. Salute. Make sure y'all go to the main page of this channel. Y'all can get y'all some of that merch. Keep the guys, man. Keep the guys. All merch 20% off right now, man. All merch 20% off, especially the Keep the Guys shirts. Even though it's all merch, keep the guys as well. All right? All right. Keep on. Slim Jones says, and thanks for coming. Shout out to you, and shout out to The Perfect Tone. Richard Muirhead says, wrong cash out. My bad. What the hell happened? Are you supposed to have sent the cash out? Well, this one ain't ding or chime or make no noise. So yeah, it gotta be the wrong one, brother. Gio Roman says, and Julio Renee, what's good? Slim John, what's good? And what's good? He says, have a blessed day, y'all. Got to go get ready for work. Yeah, and I got to go get ready for some other my damn self in the meantime, but we will be on Discord after this, chopping it up and I'll talk about. Gio Roman says the links to the page, direct cash app is up there, and said, did Empire have life insurance police on him? Excuse me. Oh, that says police, but she says policy on him since he didn't get out of the deal yet. You know what? You never know. Gio Roman says, what's going on with the footage? Are they recorded from outside of the room? It seems like they were. And says the only person who knew where he was for sure was the same person he was on the phone with while it was, oh, she talk about rainwater. God dang it, she talk about rainwater. Mike from the Ville said, keep the guys. Mike C7 says, okay, bet. The Godfather of boxing says Devin is going down for the rest of his life. I do concur with that thought. I think so as well. Gio Roman says, keep the guys. Mike C7 says, what is Beezy being charged with? Hiring a hitman? Yep. Dr. Joseph says MO3 location was on and several people had his location. Allegedly, if they look at those people, it'll be helpful. I strongly believe the other 2 people allegedly will be investigated too. Perfect Tone says this courtroom sucks the gang out of you. Knowing these folks hold your life in their hands, a foolish way to live. But whatever. Facts. Nurse lady said, let's see how good Grammy hookup is. Oh, she talking about the Yella Beezy grandma with the ties over there in them courtrooms. Don't talk about. But Slim Jones says, so what part is he supposed to have played? And says them girls who was at his house, I feel played a big part with the MO3 setup. The main reason I said it is because it was told that rainwater went to the neighbors asking for the Ring camera footage, and we're all caught up. Whoa. Super duper salute. Mike Vanderville said, who giving out free money? They gave it to somewhere because it sure ain't come here. So somebody got a free hookup. I don't know what in the world could be close to the RUMORNATI network, but somebody got something for free. Shout out to them. If that Cash App even exists, or if the guy wasn't even, you know how trolls be. Hey, I sent some money. Oh, for real? For real? Let me see how much. Oh, $2,000. Oh, saw wrong Cash App. Yeah, all right. Like Blueface say, yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Bust down, Tatiana. Man, yeah, all right. Anyway, shout out to y'all, man. It's Friday. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Fish Grease Friday, man. Get it popping. Like my bro say, Hold on. I almost skipped the fact that y'all the most aggravating chat in the game, but the most appreciating chat in the world. Y'all so aggravating. Aggravating. But y'all so appreciate it, man. No content creator is nothing without support of the people, especially this one. Like my bro say, I reserve the right to be wrong. Like I say, I identify as a multi-millionaire. And speaking of which, you can get you a shirt and you too can identify as a multi-millionaire by simply going to the RUMORNATI shop and copping you one of these shirts or even a sticker or a mug or a trucker hat or a plethora of other things. You know what I'm talking about? You too can identify as a multimillionaire. In this world of choices, people want to be cats, dogs, men, women, and Crayola crayons. They weren't born that. We got to respect their choices. This is my choice. This is my identity. And shit, join me. Let's make them respect it. Shit, because if they got a bathroom, we need a cash register, right? If they can have a bathroom specifically for them, we need a cash register specifically for us that identify as multimillionaires. So when I walk on that car lot and I hand you a small amount of money, to you it doesn't seem equivalent to the cost of that car. My identity allows me to see that being more than the cost of the car, and you can keep the change. Because I'm a multimillionaire. How dare I get change back? You keep the change. Just give me the damn vehicle. Right? But other than that, this RUMORNATI network, man. We out this motherfucker. Super duper salute to y'all. Let's go.